So somehow saying that fucking Ike Perlmutter is the person who made the MCU awesome and Kevin Feige is fucking it up is complete fucking bullshit. Kevin Feige has been the guy in charge of the MCU for a while. Now Ike Perlmutter used to stop him because he wanted to do a Black Widow movie earlier. That's the part of the problem. So like Kevin Feige wanted to do more women in movies and stuff like that early on. Ike Perlmutter stopped him. And then once Ike Perlmutter was gone, it allowed Kevin Feige to start doing the other movies he wanted to do, and that's how come we have like a backlog of this stuff that's coming out all at once. Now, I'm not denying that there isn't like more women and minorities starring in Marvel projects than there used to be, because there absolutely is. It'd be insane to claim otherwise. My argument is there's nothing wrong with that because it's been a fucking white boys club for way too fucking long. Yeah, let's get some more like faces in there. Let's get some more ideas in there.
You guys want to see a really bad take? This take might be the be-all end-all of bad Spider-Man takes. Tim Pool hates fun. He also can't analyze fiction properly. This is just a fundamental lack of understanding of Spider-Man, and I'm so surprised because Tim Pool always has such good tastes. If Uncle Ben had a gun, he wouldn't have died. The responsibility to protect himself was always his and not Spider-Man's. It's a bad take, man. Bad, dumb take. He thinks if Uncle Ben had a gun, he wouldn't have died. Now, let's talk about the fact that if Uncle Ben had a gun and he was carrying it, whether it was holstered or just concealed in his pants or whatever, I mean, he's not going to be walking around with it in his hand. We know that, right? Okay, but let's say he had a gun. Killer who killed him, depending on which version of continuity you're looking at, it's a different person.
Rand! He is in some trouble.
No, wait, sir. You don't want to do this.
Listen, it's a free country. It's not rent-free country.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Uncle Ben goes to reach for his gun. Guess what's going to happen? Uncle Ben's going to die anyway. It doesn't change the outcome.
Where's my money?
And Tim Pool is clearly not somebody who engages with comics or probably even critically pays attention to the movie versions. He's basing this off of the commonly known idea that Uncle Ben was killed by a mugger and so on.
Gotta warn you, I'm feeling punchy. Next customer.
Let's also look at the second part of this, all right? The responsibility to protect himself was always his, not Spider-Man's. Well, technically that's true. Technically, he is right about that. Peter Parker doesn't blame himself for not protecting Uncle Ben. That's another misunderstanding of Spider-Man. Peter Parker blames himself for, once again, depending on which version of continuity you're looking at.
Not that guy! Stop him! He's got my money! Thanks.
What the hell's the matter with you? You let him go. You could have taken that guy apart. Now he's going to get away with my money.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
5 minutes later.
Stay back! That's my uncle!
Hey, stay back.
Spider-Man is based on responsibility. Uncle Ben had to die in continuity in order for him to become that, right? Like, he didn't have the sense of responsibility because he was being selfish. He was going to that wrestling match thinking only about himself and his money, and he's like, whatever. Some of the most basic information about Spider-Man that people that don't really read comic books would probably be able to tell you. Really bad take.
Staring at the heartache in my soul.
Unbridled. Unbridled. Unbridled.
Unmitigated. Unbridled. 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 Unmitigated. Unbridled.
Unbridled.
Unbridled. Mummy, I clogged the toilet with an unbridled doo-doo.
Eric to paint my house, right? Hey, Eric, I need you to paint my house blue. I want you to paint it blue. And so that's the parameters, paint it. And he's out there painting it, listening to music. I go, I didn't hire you to listen to music. You go, well, you can't control what music I listen to. As long as the house gets painted, I've fulfilled the parameters of my job. So if the company goes, hey, I need you to make a new action-adventure game set in the 1980s Miami, and we give it to them, that should be it. That should be the end of where they get off and on, right?
But Tony, if Sweet Baby Inc. is being contracted to write, as they often are per some of the coverage that I've seen of this, if they're being contracted to write supplemental material for the game, then isn't that like the painting your house example that you brought up earlier, where they're being contracted and Sweet Baby Inc. is now allowed to write things?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they are. And the problem, or I guess the problem, I'm putting quotation marks, maybe you can't hear them, but the problem is that people are saying that Sweet Baby Inc. is putting in woke stuff. I don't agree with
but
all
you
that.
should respect their vision by your earlier logic.
I do. I don't have a problem with their vision.
But I mean,
again, my whole contention has always been, what are they doing?
And it's like I think it's fair. Can we get you to agree that you can't really justifiably use the word evils or say that they are contributing to some kind of evil plot or anything when you literally don't have a shred of evidence that that's actually happening? Can you acknowledge that?
Did I say evil plot?
In your video, you did say evils. The evils that they're doing, yeah.
To recap, Sweet Baby Inc. recently became the target of a group which claimed the company was forcing studios it worked with to increase diversity within its games and accused of it of pushing a, quote, woke agenda into the industry. Following a report into the claims by Kotaku, a number of game developers have spoken up to clear up misconceptions about what companies like Sweet Baby Inc. actually do. I'm going to stop you right fucking there, okay? Eurogamer, let me stop you right fucking there. Okay? If a company is being accused of nefariously injecting personal politics into their games, if they're being accused of all these evils, probably. I don't know, I say a lot of things.
We've done it. Done many different videos talking about the concept of tokenization. I figured I'd do a dedicated video explaining what exactly it is and the issues that stem from it. Instead of going back and forth with some brainlet in the comment section, just send them this video and call it a day. There wasn't even a Webster's Dictionary entry for tokenism when I first started using it in videos. I do not care what you personally think that it is or that you think I should use a different term. Not important. So let me define tokenism first and foremost in this context.
Wow, what a postmodernist. Words don't matter? Crazy.
Tokenism is the gender, race, or sexuality change of a pre-established character. We call this tokenism because it's usually only done one direction and it's purposeful and with intent. Once that tokenism occurs, we call that manifestation a tokenization, and it doesn't matter if there's a supposed mantle at play. There's
Oh, okay. So all right, okay, it makes sense. Okay. Now it all makes sense. My original definition of what his definition of tokenism is correct. It's just when a character is now different and he doesn't like it and he wants to devalue the opinion of people who he doesn't like because they like a thing that he doesn't. All right, good to know. We've done it. Based in epic build. So this, and I think, I don't know, I just think this is really funny. Pick a word, make up a definition for it that nobody else uses, then get mad.
Amazing Civilization, which, by the way,
I think so.
Underwater just seems to create some problems. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, how does this society? Well, I guess we eventually see like how it operates, but it's just like, how do you build stuff, man? Like in water, like underwater welding.
It's one of the most essential jobs on the planet.
That's going to be really difficult, right?
As well, because it's not like on land where you have seasons or you have like changing weather or anything. Like you're under the ocean. It's just the same all the time. And clearly you can survive under the ocean. You don't need buildings.
No! Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
You know, I could talk about why I don't like anti-fandom, but I'd rather talk about why I like the term anti-fandom, because I think it's a really good term. Anti-fandom, this movement, isn't about fandom or the media. It's about power, it's about brotherhood and ganging up. It's about feeling like you know some big secret, like you're the little guy taking on the big, shadowy, leftist, woke powers. At the end of the day, it's make-believe, it's playing pretend for adults, or, you know, man-children. Despite what any of them say, it isn't about fandom. It's contrary to the definition of fandom, which is basically liking things together as a community. The end result of all this is just a vortex of hate and misery, and it's all revolving around this missing center where the media or the community or the liking should be, and it just isn't.
Oh, it's the stunning and great. Oh my god.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it.
Other people besides white dudes, like Star Wars. I'm just saying, we need to be conscious of our bias.
I talked about this one thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do.
Weird.
You are the real superhero.
Well, I'm built like a goddamn brick.
Is he some sort of masochist?
You know, watching Top Gun Maverick the other day and thinking about what the actors and film crew must have gone through to actually capture that air combat footage, it really hammered home something that's been pissing me off about modern movies for a long time now. A phenomenon that I could best describe as CGI overloads.
The Dark Star was made available to the production, but it didn't fly, so it's completely CGI. The good old F-14 doesn't fly anymore. It's all CGI. The enemy's 5th generation fighters, they don't exist. They're all CGI. And in the entire dogfight at the end of the movie, you're watching 100% CGI.
And on the face of it, it should have resulted in a better end product. After all, CGI doesn't rely on actors hitting their mark.
CGI totally relies on actors hitting their marks, and that's one of the biggest struggles. You have to get them to get their eye lines correct, and you have to get them to react to this thing that doesn't exist as though it does exist.
It's controllable, it's predictable, it's safe.
If you're not an artist, don't expect the computer to do it for you, because it ain't gonna do nothing.
It's controllable, it's predictable, it's safe, it's controllable, it's predictable, it's safe, it's controllable, predictable, it's controllable, predictable, it's cost effective.
The idea that CGI is more cost effective than practical effects is a myth.
And that's not even talking about what the fucking actors have to work with now. Just actors standing around in big empty green rooms having no fucking clue what they're supposed to be reacting to. Just actors standing around in big empty green rooms having no fucking clue what they're supposed to be reacting to. Just actors standing around in big empty green rooms having no fucking clue what they're supposed to be reacting to. And that's not even talking about what the fucking actors have to work with now. And that's not even talking about what the fucking actors have to work with now.
How do you do, fellow kids?
You did something very interesting with Star Wars. Think about it. The good guys are the rebels. They're using asymmetric warfare against a highly organized empire. I think we call those guys terrorists. Were you thinking of that at the time?
Fucking insane.
Crazy Cat said, Eric, what are the plans for the Rippaverse when Daddy Glenn shuts the money hose off because of diminishing returns?
Give me the damn money, Glenn. Give me the damn money, Glenn.
So how much does Glenn Beck pay you?
Glenn Beck doesn't pay me. Glenn Beck doesn't own Blaze anymore.
Oh, so how much? Okay, so how much does the Blaze pay you?
Blaze doesn't pay me that much. I'm only a video contributor. I only show up every like once or twice at the most a week.
I mean, you got your picture. You got your picture on the wall. You must do something for him.
We need the Glenn bucks.
Oh yeah, give us the Glenn bucks,
Come on.
man. Damn, where is it at?
And the same goes with Miles Morales. He is indeed, again, Miles Morales. He's also a Spider-Man.
I really dislike the fake geek thing and the poser nerd thing. That's not what we're about.
Like, I don't get offended by shit.
Every fucking conceivable opportunity so you
Can pick up the softback trade paper.
The what now? The fucking what?
The Fandom Initiative is a group of people on a mission to counter anti-woke sentiment on YouTube.
Surprise, you fuckers.
We are passionate fans of film, TV, comics, and video games. We'd love to make YouTube videos about the things we enjoy, but the culture of YouTube fandom makes this impossible, thanks to certain networks and clusters of content creators who depend on outrage, deception, and harassment to drive clicks and bring in revenue. The YouTube algorithm pushes harmful content to fans who are at risk of indoctrination by consuming repetitive right-wing rage bait videos.
Damn, dude. Yes.
Spot on. Some people would like to think that like you can be like 100% objective when watching something. Like remove your bias and just critique it.
Hey, what's Mauler doing here?
You can't.
So like, what is fucking bringing all these guys together other than like, I'm mad at fucking Brie Larson?
What? If I can't be a misogynist to you, I don't know what to do with you.
I oftentimes get called a shill.
Fuck it, man. Don't be worried about that shit.
But here's the thing. My picture is not on the wall in the lobby of Marvel Studios.
Some motherfuckers still trying to ice skate up here.
What up? What up? What up? What up? Am I fucking audible? Hello? 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 Just me today? Oh shit, Turf's here too. Fuck. All right.
Oh, I forgot to mute. Hello.
You can be here too. I don't fucking care. Whatever.
Stealing your thunder, man.
But if you're gonna be here, bring it on edgier than now for sure.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, hello.
Hello there. How goes it?
Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty
can you hear
good.
me? Can you though? Can you fucking hear me? All right.
Honestly, Dane, I don't think I can hear you very well.
Can you hear me? Am I audible? All right. Sorry. Enough of that shit. Enough shenanigans. We're not here to fuck around today, okay? We've got
this isn't a fucking comedy movie, bro.
Thank God Bob's not here. Oh dear.
Hey, have we gone to the comedy routine yet?
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, the thank God Bob's not here. that old joke.
Oh shit. Oh.
Yep.
I hear it tops who's on first.
Yep.
How
Hello,
are you
everybody.
guys doing?
Well, hey. Ready to do some distracting, huh?
That's all we do.
We do. Well, we also browbeat the presence of Christianity in modern media. Remember?
That's my favorite.
Hell
one.
yeah.
It's like that's the main thing we do, really. Everybody knows us as like we're the anti-Christian show, right?
You know, like Alan Richardson, who I think is a totally base dude. He's actually Christian, so now I'm against him because that's just how I work. I mean,
yeah.
I'm very simple-minded like that.
I used to be a big fan of Jesus Christ, but then I realized he was Christian.
Yeah,
and then it kind of soured for me a bit.
Yeah. Once you learn that about him, it's like, man, what the hell?
Yeah, man, what? It's almost like you made
Not
your
only
own
that,
religion.
he's a hipster too, because he was like, I was a Christian before anybody else was a Christian. It's like, come on, man, we get it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did want to say that, like, please do not, even if you're not referring to any kind of like particular act of actually acting against somebody physically or with violence or anything, please just don't refer to people you don't like as targets. At least not in our chat. Please. I'm not going to call anybody out, but like somebody did that and it just makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
The exception, of course, is if the corporation Target does something that we need to criticize.
Yes. Then you make sure that you say, I'm going to bomb that Target.
Yes, America.
Jokes. We're doing jokes here. Come on now. We got 71 people watching across 5 channels. I believe Eric Debunks will be here. He said that his internet crapped out just a little while ago, so I guess he's waiting to see or get that back on. We hope that it happens soon.
Do you think he likes us? It seems like his internet's already always faulting when he's about to go on stream.
I don't think we'll talk about it off stream, but yeah, I'm starting to have some insecure feelings about it.
Yes. Roach does not like us now.
No, shit happens. I mean,
I'm like 70% sure.
Last week, somebody was fucking just like didn't show up for the beginning of the stream. Who was that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I don't know, man.
I went to the comic book store. God damn, guys, let it go.
It's weird. I'm like phasing in with my avatar here. It's weird. I got to change this shit out.
Yeah, Bob, you were the only one who wasn't there right when we began.
Right, so today we're going to talk about some things. What now?
I was just saying that last week Bob was the only one who wasn't there right at the beginning.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We're going to talk about some things today. We got a few topics. Kind of all over the place, but all within our wheelhouse, I think. We're gonna do this. We're gonna try and do this. We're gonna try to get through the entirety of a Mauler video. It's only 15 minutes, but it's probably still gonna be a slog.
I should warn you guys. I do not have 30 hours put into a stream today. Okay, I just don't.
I mean, if we're responding to Mauler, we also need to do it justice, right? In proper EFAP fashion and pause it every second.
Pause halfway through every word and be like, why has he not said the next word yet?
Why has he not finished his sentence yet? That's a bad argument.
Pause it halfway through the sentence and then criticize the fact that he hadn't said what he says in the second half of the sentence.
I couldn't help but notice that this sentence has a subject and no predicate. Interesting.
Yeah, listen, man, your argument is all set up, no payoff. What the hell?
Yeah. It's like you start to talk about his thing and then you just don't. What's up with that?
Yeah.
All I hear is me and my friends talking instead of your arguments. What's up? It's weird.
So you're telling me Mauler has a video that's not 2 hours?
We're gonna find out. Short man bad? Because as they tell us all the time, they're always saying it. Long man bad. So okay, man, if that's what your fans want to say about you, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not one of his unbridled series.
Oh, thank God.
I just noticed how, I was like, what? Why does he have a fascination with that? Does he think it's clever to just? I don't know, man. I'm sure I've got several things about my content that I'm like, I think is clever and other people don't. But just calling everything unbridled, whatever. Huh?
I think we all do. But it's the kind of thing where it's like he probably was in a spelling bee once, and then he got that one correct, and he was like, yeah, fuck yeah. That's.
Well, what's up? Y'all gonna make me be the only one on camera? I'll get the fuck off camera. I don't care.
No, we need you there.
I'm gonna turn people away.
I didn't think anybody wanted to see me munching on my food, so I turned off my camera. So
Bob, that's why half of them are here.
I actually do want to see that, Bob. Let's go ahead and let's see. Show it.
Nom nom.
Fuck yes.
Yes.
I mean, often longer. I mean, like the what is it? The Doctor Strange one is infamously Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Infamously 5.5 hours or something like that.
Yeah, he also doesn't have some where it's in parts.
It's the same for Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
Hey man, don't say that kind of shit in our chat. Jesus Christ. Look, now it's contagious. Anyway, yeah. Now then there was 11-hour video where he responds to Jenny Nicholson's video about how she doesn't like the Joker.
Movie? It's so bad. I mean, mind you, I haven't finished it. It's one of the I feel like he's done a very good job of reorganizing all of the critique of his commentary being bad into critique over it being long. And it's like, no, if it was good and long, that'd be great. But it's bad and long.
I'm really happy. I'm really glad you didn't say that you were finished with it.
Oh God, no.
11 hours.
After a certain point in time when you're watching, this is if you're wondering what that video is like, there's a point in Jenny Nicholson's video where she makes a comment about how the Joker's day gets comically bad in a way that she found unbelievable. And they pause and spend like 5 minutes talking about crime stats in Chicago and how she's this like sheltered liberal or whatever for not understanding that people get violent in cities. And then it turns out she's talking about his therapist being comically an asshole. And they just like awkwardly brush past it as though they didn't spend, 5 minutes going off about something they could have just like listened to. It's insufferable. Really unimpressive.
I will say, as someone who I like the Joker movie, but like, god damn, that thing gets overrated in my opinion. Maybe that's a hot take, but Jesus,
You just don't understand real cinema.
It's a really, really well done, like really well done example of a movie that has been done several times before.
It's not.
It's
not like
a really. Yeah,
Sorry,
it's a cool superhero variant of Taxi Driver, kind of. Essentially, was my takeaway.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, it's not even like 100% retread of like Taxi Driver or King of Comedy or whatever, but I do think that those movies do what it's doing better. If in terms of the storyline, but superhero stuff like that's fun,
Mm-hmm.
Well, just kind of random.
It's really done, but
do you guys think that the sequel is going to kind of like come out of the shadow of those movies that they very clearly was underneath the original was, or do you think like is it just going to suck? What do you guys think?
I mean, considering what they did the original, I don't really see what to do for the sequel. And when they announced the musical, I was like, fuck it, sure, why not?
That was me too. I was like, as soon as I found out it was going to be a jukebox musical, I was like, okay, there has to be a vision here. That's not something that you do in your sequel unless you have a reason to. And maybe it's a dumb reason, but I was immediately like, my excitement level was down here and it immediately jumped up to here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not
nothing
something
else.
like
It might be
the
hilariously
studio
bad.
behind it most of the
Yeah.
What's that, Tur?
Like the studio is not also just going to be like, oh yes, turn the Joker into musical. That this will make us a lot of money. Like
No, that's definitely the kind of thing you get to do when you make $1 billion on your rated R movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, musical, whatever. Yeah, do it.
And I'll be honest, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn for Joker the musical. I'm kind of on board for that.
Kind of inspired casting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty good. Get her in the right role. She's pretty damn good.
If the music is good, then
I wasn't a fan of that Stars Born remake, but like there were good performances in that, and she was one of them.
Yeah.
She was no Sam Elliott, but she was good.
I mean, nobody is.
So what you're saying is you don't understand film and art, Bob.
True, I don't.
Oh man. Okay, so let's ease into it, guys. Let's do some fan chat since we're already on that a little bit. Let's talk about the Thunderbolts and Daredevil Born Again and these leaked trailers that I've watched. Have you guys all watched both of them? Or
I haven't gotten around to it. I don't like watching leaked trailers because they just it doesn't really give you like. I know the official release will just be so much better, and I know it won't hit me as hard unless I watch.
No, you're absolutely right because that's what we talked about that in the Discord. Was like, this like some of the humor, at least, for me, fell flat because it seemed like I just wasn't connecting with the trailer really, and it was more just like it's like you're kind of peeking over in through the blinds at a trailer or something like that. You're not really getting the full vibe. Not that I like peek through the blinds at people or anything like that. What are you talking about? That's weird.
I never did that.
Why do you know so much about it?
I don't know. What are blinds? I don't know. But yeah, no, the Daredevil trailer, definitely I'm looking forward to seeing the official of that, because I do feel like that was definitely lost. Like the vibe was lost for me. Even though it looked like it should be cool, what I'm seeing, the vibe wasn't there. I got more of the vibe with the Thunderbolts. I feel like there's one sequence where they're starting to converge on this room that they're all in for whatever reason, that I guess they've been led there to be killed or something like that. And there's like an action sequence that kind of plays out really quick, and it's pretty cool looking.
It like used the power sets within it creatively to actually affect the way that people were fighting. I was so happy when I saw that. Like, it felt a little slow, but I was like, just the fact that these characters are actually using their powers in a way that makes the fight scene fundamentally different from just like a regular MCU fight scene. I was like, thank God.
Yeah. I'm just hoping it's good enough to justify skipping the first incarnation of the Thunderbolts.
What?
What?
I've talked about this before on stream, and it's probably a very unpopular opinion, but I just in general do not watch trailers, because 80% out of 100 or something, like 8 out of 10 times, I'm gonna be less excited for it because something about trailers just does not vibe with me. And it's like
There's an argument.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's for me with like humor in movies, I really need to be I need to be immersed in the movie for the jokes to be funny. Like pretty much most of the time. And so often when, especially with these Marvel properties, they have jokes in the trailers and I just don't find them funny. And I might find them funny in the movie, when they're in context, but it's just I don't do that to myself anymore because I just get sad.
I mean, there's also for me the fact that I go to theater probably 2-3 times a month anyway. So frequently, like I'm going to see the trailer anyway. So I usually don't go out of my way unless I'm super pumped for it. And then,
And then in that case, trailers definitely are an enriching theater experience, right?
Oh yeah, I like trailers in theaters. I don't know. There's something about it. It's not like I said afterwards. I'm like, oh, that was awesome. But I'm just like, yeah, it's a fun experience. But I do know I'm in the minority, and most people do watch trailers.
Yep, you're a weirdo.
Yeah, I'm also just I guess
Turf.
I guess also just oftentimes don't want any kind of spoiler, even if it's something you find out the first minute of the movie. I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch the trailer. Then I get spoiled on Twitter either way.
Yeah, I used to be way more like strict about like I don't want to fucking know anything. Like I would watch like the first teaser and then maybe the first full trailer, and then I'm like, that's it, I'm done. But then you get on the internet and people ruin it for you. So
yeah, I don't know why I try anymore. But yeah,
I remember on Facebook, somebody ruined Batman v Superman for me, and I was really mad because somebody said, "Oh, R.I.P. Superman," just in the middle of my fucking timeline. You know what I mean? I was like, "Now the movie's ruined for me," and it was. It wasn't even any good when I watched it.
There might be another reason.
Sure.
Yes, that is why.
Yeah.
Well, I even without watching the trailers, I'm very excited for both of those. I've been excited for Thunderbolts. I like when characters, different characters come together. It can be done very poorly, but when it's done well, I really enjoy it. And then Daredevil, I like Daredevil.
Yeah, who wasn't excited for Daredevil?
Yeah. This Charlie Cox guy, he's going places, mainly more Daredevil.
Yeah, I think he might be an okay Daredevil. We'll have to see. Roll the dice on it, but
we just need more sex in the MCU. That's it. And he's the player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need some hardcore sex like they had in Lightyear. Hardcore.
Yes.
In the MCU.
Yes.
That
Can't
full-on
your children that
a
one.
little bit much, but yeah.
I don't know if it's appropriate for a children's movie, but okay, Pixar, you do you.
That's a joke that goes back to like one of our first streams together. I think.
Yeah, it's early days. Yeah.
We were talking about like how Chuds got all mad about the 2-second kiss of like the women in Lightyear, like in the background of the scene or whatever. And it's like we were making fun of how the way they reacted, Chuds reacted. It's like there was a hardcore fucking lesbian sex scene in the middle of the movie or something.
Yeah. Like my kids were watching this one. Okay, so
that does remind me. I have a pretty funny little clip here that kind of relates to that. But so we were talking in Discord yesterday, about that Thunderbolts trailer and how
yes.
About how like what do you think that they're going to be like redeeming all these characters? They're all going to be like heroes by the end of it, or they're going to be some like some of them are definitely starting off on different footing, I feel like.
Yeah.
But
I think they're definitely going to redeem most of them, but I think we're going to have one or two not redeemed.
Yeah.
Possibly going down a darker path.
Because there's also some of them that don't need to be redeemed, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I think. For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
like, what have to redeem?
Well, I mean,
maybe I don't remember what has Bucky done?
I mean, he's against his own agency, murdered like scores of people.
Mm-hmm.
He's changed the outcome of like global events and shit like that as the Winter Soldier.
I don't know. I think
I guess but he's been redeemed like throughout.
Right. Well, it was confirmed. I think that he's going to be the leader.
He's the leader,
team.
though. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know, have any of them really, like, have we gotten to see any of them be particularly evil? Like, I feel like out of all of them, the worst in terms of behavior we've seen on screen has been Ghost, and nobody remembers that movie. So, like,
Ghost, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm sure that Red Guardian's done some like bad shit, but like
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't seen any of it. So it's it's like, oh, I guess he broke a guy's arm. I don't know.
I think what they're
I mean,
probably going to have
technically,
to
it's
lean
probably
into.
Winter Soldier, but yeah.
Yeah, the context is what matters. It seems like there's a range of like they've either just made some mistakes or they were circumstances put them in a situation they didn't know any better or whatever, or they just kind of made a big fuck up in the moment like U.S. agent did.
Yeah.
Oh, true. I forgot he was there. Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to me as like Marvel's Suicide Squad,
No.
Like it's not villains teaming up,
Yeah.
you know. It's
like,
I don't know.
Like
Yeah,
some of them are like seedier, like Yelena and Red Guardian seems seedier, but they never struck me as flat out villains.
Well, I mean, we pointed out how like in she actually like shoots a couple of guys as they're already down in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yelena does, so it's kind of like
Oh.
that's not really a super Avengery type of move,
Yeah, but does she eat mac and
choke them out
cheese?
with your thighs and then just leave them there, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things though that I think might potentially hold them back, because we're talking about that, different fight scenes and stuff, like really utilizing their powers and everything in interesting ways. It might feel a little bit stale, the fact that we've basically got 3 Captain America stand-ins on this team, like just representation wise. People were complaining about the Mortal Kombat basically having 2 evil Supermans or whatever, and I feel like this is like that, or I mean, arguably 4 Captain America stand-ins, depending on how much you want to count Taskmaster, but like,
yeah.
Wait, what? Well,
I won't really count Taskmaster at all, but
well, I just mean like fighting with the shield and also like copying people's movements, like it similar-ish. I hope that they make Taskmaster more interesting in terms of like combat style, because there were like 2 or 3 interesting moments in Black Widow, but overall I felt like she just didn't get anything like super entertaining to do.
I thought Taskmaster, while I think they could have handled Taskmaster way better in Black Widow.
So here's my nuanced, superficially might seem like a chud take about Taskmaster. I'm being very familiar with the character in the comics. Taskmaster is fun, like he's a fun character to read about. Like he's got a personality and shit. And so like I don't care if they did make it a woman as Taskmaster, as long as they gave her that basic personality, then I would fucking be okay with it. But like what they did was actually kind of, I don't know, shitty. It just I mean I get that it was more for the purpose of the plot or whatever, and it worked okay, but like I was really waiting for some snarky dialogue and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
there were 2 elements of Taskmaster that really kind of annoyed me in Black Widow. The first one was what you just said, like the personality of Taskmaster was completely fucking drained. That frustrated me. The other thing was that like the idea of Black Widow versus Taskmaster I thought was really cool, because there's nothing that Black Widow can do that Taskmaster can't like copy just instantly. So like Black Widow would have to like outsmart them, figure out like some extra way to figure it out. But instead they just gave him some potion to undo it. And I felt that was very disappointing and a little frustrating. Those are my 2 big complaints. Not that there was a woman, because all that stuff can apply to a woman as well.
I mean, I would like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like there could definitely be an interesting room for engaging with her personality now that she's more like free, assuming she is like more free to do what she wants. Because like, I mean, and I don't know how far they're willing to go with it, but I feel like you can do something really interesting with a character who has an incredibly like obscenely traumatic past, like she does at this point. Like you can definitely have a character with a dark sense of humor that's like engaging, that's more than just like Deadpool ripoff. I don't know. I feel like they've got room for that personally.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, looking at this cast list, we got Yelena and Taskmaster there who have kind of similar backstories, what they've set up. And it could be interesting to set up a thing where like they start out kind of in similar areas, but then you start like having them diverge, where Taskmaster, like, we see who Taskmaster actually is, and they are actually kind of a villain. And Yelena starts going, whoa, wait, are we going too far? That could be an interesting character dynamic between them two. But
I mean,
I'm just
I think
guessing
that
at
was
this
the
point.
best thing about the Eternals was the fact that all of them kind of had the same origin story and they all went in wildly different directions with it.
Yes.
So play that up. Hell yeah.
True.
And if we're being real, Bucky also has a similar backstory. That's the only, like, that's one of the things that worries me a little bit, is I feel like there are a lot of like specific similarities between a lot of these characters that you could do really interesting stuff with. and
sure.
like play off of them. But you could also go the boring, lame route and have
Well, I
them all
mean,
just
if
kind
you
of
think
be
about it in
carbon
terms of
copies.
like Bucky's been he's been going to therapy for a few years now and shit. You know, like he's kind of moved. He's outside of his darker elements, so that's why he's becoming a leader, and he can actually be more of a kind of a help to somebody like Taskmaster, who has almost the same backstory, but like is more recently, you know, kind of broken free of that shit. Hopefully they'll do something like that. Who knows? Maybe they'll just kill them all off and like introduce a bunch of, I don't know. I'm really curious if, I guess they're going to wait until after Captain America 4 happens to reveal if like Red Hulk is actually in it, because you know.
Yeah. I mean, of this current stand-up, it's the, I can't remember her name, but Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the one that is most sus to me.
She's very sus. She's like even more sus Nick Fury.
Yes, she's like Nick Fury, but super fucking sus. You know, Nick Fury gets kind of sus.
So let's talk about this asterisk.
Ooh.
It is a point that I think is going to matter. Otherwise, why would they fucking do it? So, yeah, the asterisk.
Yeah.
What'd that mean?
Well, if Bob, have you read Thunderbolts and the original like appearance of Thunderbolts?
I read the original run. I don't know so much about after that, but like I read like the first couple years of Kurt Busiek's run.
So it's clearly not going to be the exact same thing as the original run, because it would have to be, you know, a bigger surprise than what we already know it's not. But like, okay, so in the 90s, this all relates and stems from Marvel nearly going bankrupt and having to license off all their shit, you know, which is how we got movies with different studios making characters and whatnot. But then one thing they did in the comics was nothing was selling as well as X-Men. So like they wanted to, you know, to get their Fantastic Four and Iron Man and Avengers and Captain America selling as well as fucking X-Men. So what they did was actually kind of shitty, I imagine, if you were a creator working at Marvel at the time. Because these guys, all the guys that went and formed Image Comics that were working primarily at Marvel, but a couple of them at DC too, they just kind of quit and went into form Image and were making all this money. And then Marvel, seeing their success at Image, was like, hey, do you guys, even though you fucking just quit on us and went to make all this money doing your own shit, can we pay you to make our comics now? And so they did that. And that was, I think, the only time they've ever done that, where they literally farmed out their, you know, primary IP comics to somebody else. So you had Rob Liefeld. That's where the infamous image of Rob Liefeld's Captain America with the big giant titty. That's from that. Yeah, and it went varying degrees of bad to like, Anyways,
yeah, it was kind of bad to meh was kind of the best way to describe it. Heroes
Canonical
Reborn
reason
was
for them to be separate now was because at the end of the Onslaught event, which was a X-Men centric thing, but it was the entire line of comics. You had the Avengers and Fantastic Four. Basically, just in order to defeat Onslaught, they kind of they pushed them into this portal, whatever the fuck, you know, comic book shenanigans, and they disappeared. They were gone from the Marvel universe, presumed dead. What actually happened was Franklin Richards, the little reality warper boy, he had created a pocket dimension and sent them there. And it's this other dimension where there's no superheroes that existed. So they get there and they're like, hey, we're the only superheroes. And it started over, their story started over there. But while all those heroes disappeared, this new team showed up called the Thunderbolts. It's like, you know, it was marketed as the new superhero team here to replace the Avengers.
Yeah.
And a bunch of characters nobody ever heard of.
Real quick to set you up how the Marvel Universe was set up at this point. So all the main heroes were dead from their perspective. The heroes that were left were X-Men and Spider-Man. They were your main heroes. And at that time, those characters were not trusted by the population at all. So, you know, what happened was you got Thunderbolts, this new group of superheroes, you know, and they're doing, you know, the regular superhero thing like the Avengers, and the population is going, hey, these guys are pretty cool. They are quickly becoming one of the most respected superhero teams in the vacuum left by these guys. Sorry to interject there, Dane. I just wanted to add a little bit more context because I love the run.
It's really, really cool. And like, and it's generally regarded as one of the best, like, kind of reveals. It's really fucking cool. So basically, the first issue debuted, and I'm trying to pull up a good image of these original Thunderbolts here. This ought to do, I guess.
Fun fact: they have 100% introduced one of the original
No,
Thunderbolts.
that's an old one. Never mind.
Already in the MCU.
Wrong image. Wrong image.
I'm trying to think if they've done any other ones, but
wait, what'd you say, Bob?
I said they've absolutely introduced one of the original Thunderbolts in the MCU.
Oh yeah, well yeah, the leader. I mean, not the leader, as in like not the character called the leader, but the leader of the Thunderbolts.
We're missing him though in this picture, but
well, I mean, this picture is oh yeah, I mean in the movie picture. I'm wondering if he's going to be part of it at all. Like,
I'd be surprised if he isn't. That'd be wild to do a Thunderbolts movie without him.
And like, it does seem he's the kind of character they've set up so far that like whenever he does show up, it's going to be kind of like, oh, there he is, you know. It's odd they've made Baron Zemo.
Yes,
it's
the
odd
main villain in
make him
Civil
like a
War.
kind of like a fan favorite, like fun character. It's weird.
Are they gonna have him dancing in a club again?
Hopefully, fucking so, man. I need to include that. In some
So the guy in the front, that is actually Baron Zemo. In case, and I guess to spoil like a 30-year-old story, issue 1 ends with the Thunderbolts go and they do the Avengers thing, they save the day, and then issue 1 comes up and reveals that these guys, these new superheroes, are actually the masters of evil, looking to win the public's trust to essentially circumvent any governmental systems they can, kind of.
They saw their moment. They're all their nemesis are gone. The heroes, so they're like, hey, we're gonna pretend to be heroes, get in real good with the the public and the government and everything. And then at the end of the first issue, it's revealed that they're actually all the masters of evil, the classic villain group. And it's like, holy shit. But then
so
the
most respected superhero team are villains.
What's really interesting is that like Zemo, basically he sticks to his original plan, whereas like a lot of these people on the team, turns out they like being good guys. They like doing the right thing, and they kind of like accidentally redeem themselves.
The only one that doesn't is the guy, I think it's Techno on the left there. But yeah, he sticks with Zemo.
I saw that what's her name from Stranger Things was reportedly maybe being cast as Songbird. The red haired girl from Stranger Things.
I don't remember.
Oh,
Sadie Sink.
Yeah, Sadie Sink.
Oh yes, God, yes.
Oh yeah, and then also the Sentry is in this shit, which is a whole other can of fucking evil gods kind of thing. Man, the Sentry is a hell of a character. That's Stephen Yeun was supposed to play him originally. I guess he wasn't able to do that for whatever reason.
Well, I don't think that was ever confirmed. That was just a rumor I was going around, and I don't know. Maybe it was something they leaked to see how people thought about it before they finalized anything with him.
Maybe. But yeah, it's that's gonna be kind of crazy. Anybody that doesn't know about the Sentry, I doubt they're gonna do the same thing with his origin. He's got a fucking weird origin too. Very interesting in a meta context. It's one of a couple of characters that they've done stuff like this with. Do you know about it, Bob? The Sentry.
The Sentry, like I know of him. I don't really know too much about his origin. I'm sure it's fucked up knowing the character though.
It is both in the comics and so like whenever he debuted in like the mid 2000s or so, it was just like it was presented as if he was like a classic Marvel hero, and the same way that Superman, like he's Marvel's Superman, is how he's shown, originally introduced. He's got the power of 1,000 exploding suns inside of him, is how it's described. And then like he's whenever he's introduced, he's kind of shows that he's going crazy. He's supposedly has been there this whole time, and he's been a hero, but nobody fucking remembers him. He is best friends with the Hulk, but the Hulk doesn't remember him. And he's fought on the Avengers, and they just don't remember him. And yeah, eventually it kind of reveals that that basically he had them erase him from the world's memory because he has the evil entity called the Void inside of him that basically he can't control eventually. Like it's just going to come out and kill everybody. So yeah, it's wacky, but it actually goes back and shows like old school style comics of him as the Sentry from like the 60s or whatever that didn't really exist. It goes a long way to try and show you what. Never mind. I'm going to stop nerding out about the Sentry now.
Let's just say there's some dark Marvel superheroes, and they're starting to dip their toes in that in the MCU, which is kind of exciting in my opinion.
The Sentry. This is
I'm
the
down
cool
for
thing
that.
about the Sentry, guys. He loves to rip people in half. Just rips them in half. And he's done it several fucking times. He's done it to Carnage. He's done it to who else did he do it to? Ares. That's a pretty fucking infamous one from the Siege storyline. Yeah, I hope he rips some folks in half.
That's kind of sexy.
Oh, it is every time.
It's real wet, you know.
Technically true.
Yeah, I'll show you the Ares one because it's just chef's kiss. Boom.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Good times.
You weren't lying.
And everybody's reactions as it's happening, you know, like, oh my fucking Christ, this
What the fuck?
Which is crazy. Not an uncommon reaction when Sentry is there doing stuff. He usually does something. It's like fuck.
Damn. I was like Homelander.
It's really cool. It's intentionally,
yeah. It's not too.
It's
far
intentionally
off.
a play on Superman, and like it definitely kind of takes a different approach to. Instead of you seeing Superman and like, oh, you're inspired and you're hopeful and stuff, it's like you see this guy and you're like, holy fucking shit, what's gonna happen?
You're like, oh no.
You know,
Yeah.
He's kind of unhinged. He's not evil Superman either, so don't call him that. That's not what the deal is. He's not evil. Bob Reynolds is not evil. He's a good dude.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Huh.
No, Bob Reynolds. Yes. But the Void is definitely fucking evil as shit. What are you talking about? Why Bucky in particular? What?
Bro's dying.
I mean, like I guess I haven't really thought about who might survive or not, but I mean, I guess if I had to guess, he is probably closer to the end of his contract than anybody else, but we don't know. We don't.
But if he's going to be the leader of it, I mean, I feel like they would have started a new contract with him. Maybe, I don't know. He kind of just started getting any real focus in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is going to be his first real focus, so it would be a little disappointing. That being said, if they handle it really well, it could work.
Yeah,
I think we'd have to see.
And then of course the Daredevil, Born Again trailer. There's a lot of stuff that looks familiar. I don't know. It looks like a Bullseye's back. The guy they introduced at the end of the last season of Daredevil, or he's all in the whole thing, but like he kind of becomes Bullseye officially. There's a scene with Matt Murdock and Kingpin just sitting at a diner talking, which is, who knows where that's going to go. All right, what do we got next? What's going on? Who's leading this shit show?
Oh fuck, we're supposed to have.
I thought you were.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I brought up a clip that I wanted to show. So talking about taking kids to see rated R things.
Went to see Deadpool and we left probably about 25-30 minutes into it. It is disgusting. It is so against the Lord. They are blaspheming our creator and you should not see it. Do not spend money on it. It is not worth anything. The fact that it has beat all of the MCU movies out blows me away, and it blows me away that people were bringing their children into it.
My question is like, how did you miss what Deadpool was about until now?
Well, I don't know how it's disrespectful to the Lord. This movie fairly well establishes that Deadpool is Jesus. So how can it be disrespectful? It's a movie
that is
about
true.
Him.
Yeah, like it's literally about Jesus Christ. Wow.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, how do you watch two Deadpool movies and be like, let's go watch the third? Oh fuck! What is
how
this?
do you not watch any Deadpool movies and then suddenly decide you want to watch Deadpool 3?
Yeah,
right? Like either one of those doesn't make sense to me.
Like maybe they're just pure, MCU fans. They've watched all those movies and then now they're like, oh, this is technically part of it, so let's go and watch them. And like, but still, it's rated R.
That's weird. Yeah, it's
rated
rated
R.
R. But
Out of
I'm
the
gonna
Bible
ignore
and
them.
read something on the internet sometimes. You know what I mean? Learn something. Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I found this video hilarious, and frankly, it made me like the movie more.
Yeah. I believe in them. If they keep going, if they keep at this little campaign they're doing, I think they're going to take that movie down.
True. True. It will fall way short of the Joker's record that just broke. But shut up.
Oh man, I'm disappearing. That's pretty.
We're going to be returning our tickets in droves.
Yes, I want a refund.
I want these memories out of my head. Yeah. So what do we got? We got and we got more. We got Chud stuff. We got to do Chud
I was
stuff.
about to say. I mean, we're hitting on Deadpool. Do we want to go into?
We might
the
as well
shorter
just
thing?
do that.
Yeah.
I'll bring up the
Yeah.
goddamn thing. Okay.
Well planned segue there.
Thanks. Yeah, it's all on purpose.
Perfect.
We practiced this actually yesterday.
Yeah, we rehearsed this whole show.
Oh shit, I missed rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, can't you tell that we're way more professional right now?
I'll just be riffing off of,
Yeah.
I'll do my best to ad lib here, but
I'm procrastinating. Check this out.
Hey Momo, obviously people are asking why I got this tattoo. At the end of the day, I absolutely love and appreciate what Trump has done for America. I think he's an absolute great person, and I just feel like he needs to be appreciated.
Is that real?
Jesus Christ. To my understanding, yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I mean, if that's a real tattoo, then I can at least say I believe that she's a true believer. Like, you know what?
That's hardcore.
More power to
Right
you.
on the bone
Sincerity
like that?
wins in this particular case.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like bro's gonna be dead in a couple years. Like,
I mean, it might be sooner than.
Yeah, like why? What are you gonna do then?
So here, apparently, there's video from Project 2025 training videos that are like being leaked or something like that.
Oh, they've been so good.
I've only seen this one so far, but like.
Sullivan and just a normal American woman. But to the left, that makes me a cisgendered ethno-imperialist birthing person with pronouns she, her.
I saw that this is from like the fucking like the Project 2025 training shit, right?
Yeah, some of that stuff I'm like, okay, yeah, that would probably define you. And other stuff I'm like, what the fuck? Where are you getting that from?
Like, oh, they're gonna call you're a woman and they're gonna call you she.
Yeah.
How
your pronouns are she, her. You're
what do you want to be
cisgendered.
called?
Yes.
And based on that information, you're an ethno-imperialist.
Yeah, that was the one. Where
I don't think I've ever said that phrase before. Really.
I was impressed that there exists a person who knows the word ethno-imperialist but doesn't know how to spell cisgender. Like,
you also just know that she has never been called an ethno-imperialist in her life before.
She's never been called a birthing person either. I'm confident.
No.
in that.
Yeah, no, never.
No, that's a term used like for medical or legal reasons. Nobody actually says
Or
it
by
to a
Anna
person.
Kasparian.
Yeah. like no one walks into a door and then someone is like, oh, there we have a birthing person. Like,
yeah, it's not even like used with respect to an individual. It's used as like a general term for, women and trans men and whomever that category relates to.
Yeah. It's
don't be so offensive.
And it also generally only refers to people who are actively going to be giving birth at some point in the near future. You're not just like, oh yeah, this random like 20-year-old woman who has no interest in children right now is a birthing person. Like, no, that's not.
Yeah, like you're
okay,
not gonna go
you're good.
You're not gonna go to your dentist and then be like, oh yes, here's this birthing person. Like, no. Like you said, it's
wait, you don't do that
situation.
You don't do that.
Oh, I do.
They're like
but
checking they're like checking your dental records, and they're like, okay, for a birthing person, you're probably going to want to try this regimen. Like,
yeah.
That's probably has something to do with it. To be honest, Mark,
I think it's just wanting to be a victim.
And a lot of these people do.
Yeah.
It's which is ironic because of course they act like we're doing some kind of oppression Olympics or whatever.
Like there's so many worse things going on in this world, so many people suffering, way more than you who are being called descriptive words because they describe you. Like,
well, watch that kind of argument though, Turf, because the guy we're about to look at, he dealt with one of those recently. RLM, when they said, there's people that are starving and you guys are upset about the Acolyte or whatever, and then like they just did not shut up about it ever. They're still talking about it.
Well,
okay, because I'm going to procrastinate a little bit longer. But this is related. Let's look at this freaking this Reddit post in r/Mauler that I was looking at earlier, and it kind of made me fucking die inside. Because
then why are you here right now?
Yeah, I was about to say, how'd you get here? That's impressive.
I had to come back and share. So
yeah, he's like, dude, I got better.
Oh boy, you can tell Longman has already been ruffling some feathers. So that's like that right there is like, okay, so you want that. That's part of it. Okay, got it. You admit that. It's part of the experience of being a Mauler fan is that you ruffle people's feathers. Cool. I mean, like that's actually not cool to me. It's kind of lame, but whatever. You get,
and that's what they get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always bizarre to see, you know, especially in his community, because they're like some of the only ones that can actually communicate a coherent thought. Sometimes you don't go into Nerdrotics subreddit expecting much coherence, you know. This person said, I absolutely loved it, but doesn't bother me that he didn't. Sometimes people get way too attached to the opinions of the YouTubers they follow.
Wow.
I think it would be weird if I never disagree with him on anything ever, right? W take. And then Mauler is consistent. It's story first. Not surprised he didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine. The story makes 0 sense.
It's not supposed to be a fucking super tight script.
I mean, like, how is it not make sense when is he just sitting there like, I don't understand what's happening in this movie. Why do you say that? Why are they there? What's going on? You know,
why do you talk to the camera?
Why did he acknowledge the camera? The fuck? Why do you
say he's Jesus when he's not?
This person had a pretty accidentally funny comment. I think my enjoyment comes from an entirely metal level. That's awesome. Guitar riff.
Is that what he meant, or did he mean like meta?
I think it meta is what it was.
I think he meant metal.
So this is where I kind of lost my shit. This is where I lost my shit and gave up the ghost here in a second. It was okay. So this person the easily offended sheeple who will pay to see anything don't understand how he operates because they don't watch him at all. They only hear about what he's like via the average brain fried cuck on Twitter or the like. And then this comment, for real. He'll come out and say he likes a movie, but still point out some flaws. People need to stop taking criticism as a personal attack. Wait a second. Are you talking about how they literally go to fucking people's videos that have nothing to do with them and they're just like enjoying a thing? They literally personally attack that person? Is that like that kind of personal attack? Fucking idiot?
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm not in actual flat out personal attacks from these guys.
I've seen them literally watching, like responding to a video and saying, I bet this person likes a movie we don't like. Haha, I bet they probably like this movie we don't like. If you like this movie we don't like, then you probably shouldn't even be making videos at all. And then move on. Like, And
then Rags goes, kill yourself.
Yeah. You know? I'm pretty sure Rags said that to me specifically just because I liked Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know. Which is the worst time a person can
that is
ever
a big offense.
I didn't know you liked Obi-Wan Kenobi, Bob. Jesus Christ. Come on.
Yeah.
It was disappointing, but it also had some cool stuff too.
Yeah, no, it had very clear flaws in my opinion, but like, I don't know. I thought the good outweighed the bad.
So, you know, that's it. That's really as far as I got. I just couldn't believe that this person lacks any kind of like not self-awareness, but like awareness of the content creator you're talking about. And that's literally kind of part of what they do. Is they personally attack people.
That's the thing. If you're a Mauler fan, fine. If you're a Mauler fan that doesn't understand what Mauler does or what like the fandom or his fans do, then that's just you're just kind of a silly person.
You silly little goober. I thought I downloaded this video, but I guess not. So I'm fucking. It's only 15 minutes. Why am I dragging my feet? We're gonna get there.
It's 15 minutes of Mauler. It's not.
True. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get there.
Well, I got it if you want.
Oh, you got it? Yeah. Let's do it.
Everyone, He's back. The anchor being is back. The character you know and love so well. Every fucking characteristic down to the actor himself is back. And they'll use him till he's 90. Don't think about what meaning you could draw out of Logan. Doesn't fucking matter. Thank you so
What does that
much.
do with anything?
I also wanted. Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just really wanted to say it's like when you want to criticize a movie like Deadpool and Wolverine, I feel like it's very easy to fall into the trap of going after things that the movie is purposely commentating on. You know, like it talks about and it mentions in the movie, and because it's making fun of a lot of stuff, right? Like criticizing a movie like this, you need to be, it might be like it's specific things you can go after, and it's very easy to look a little bit stupid. Yeah.
Well, I mean, criticizing it. I mean, I love Logan, but like, yeah, I mean, Deadpool acknowledges early on that, like, hey, isn't it disrespectful for me to try to revive Logan? Yeah, but I'm very disrespectful, so why not?
I mean,
Look, man,
Logan is literally one of my favorite movies. I know somebody might think that's lame or something, but like, I fucking love that movie.
Awesome.
It's genuinely just great. And I was kind of like cringing, but also laughing my ass off that the whole thing, you know, once I realized what he was going to be doing, I was like, oh my fucking Christ, man, this is like, because it's Deadpool. You know, you bought the ticket to see the movie, you know what Deadpool's about. If you don't, then I mean, I guess you're just those Christian people. But like, if you have any idea what Deadpool's about and you buy the ticket to see the movie, you kind of have to fucking chill the F out and you know, kind of leave some reverence at home, right?
Yeah, like he's gonna be out of pocket.
I mean, okay, if we're being serious here, and I vaguely remember because I watched the first couple of minutes of this a while ago, their opening argument, like complaining about how it's desecrating Logan or whatever, is conceptually fairly similar to the arguments that those Christians were making, where they were like, it's disrespectful to our guy, you know, and it's like, okay, I mean, I guess if you literally cannot take a joke, then
which puts me in a weird position, Malachi, because now I'm like agreeing more with them than with the Christians, like that I kind of side more with like
I'm not saying it's as bad, but it could, you know, categorically there's some similarities there.
Yeah. And I mean, there was like, to me, I thought that a lot of people before, and they were thinking like, oh, it's going to be Logan from that movie, right? And he's going to come back to life
at first, but then
and I was like, okay, that's fair if people want to be like, okay, yeah, that's kind of, you know, doing something to the end of Logan, which was very emotional and stuff. But they didn't. Logan is dead.
Yeah,
that Logan is very, very dead.
I mean, he does some minor desecration to the body, and by minor I mean pretty severe. But he's very dead.
Right. Yeah. Look, I love Wolverine. He's literally my favorite fucking superhero is Wolverine. I grew to love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I definitely love Logan as a film. Like, just aside from being a Wolverine film or an X-Men or anything like that, it just kind of transcends the genre, in my opinion. But like, I've loved Marvel comics and shit for as long as I can remember, basically. So like, if there's anybody that should be offended by it, it would be me, if I didn't have a sense of like humor, and also that like it at the end of the day, man.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
I think to keep in mind is that Logan's a great movie, and it still exists. You can still watch it. I have it on Blu-ray out there. It's right there anytime I want to watch it in its entirety, untarnished by Deadpool dancing to NSYNC.
Next time Mauler watches Logan, is he gonna not cry whenever Hugh Jackman says? So that's what it feels like, you know?
Yeah,
but like he's dead. He's still dead. And the thing is, when you go back and watch Logan now, every time that you look upon his face, just know Deadpool fucking desecrated his body.
Yeah. Think of trying. You know what it would be? Make it fun is try and think about which bones he uses for different purposes in that.
All 207 of them.
I just want you to watch that so sad death scene and think to yourself, bye.
That opening sequence was the thing that made me fully internalize that Logan's skeleton is made of adamantium except for his teeth. Like that wasn't something that I had thought about until then.
Oh,
And then I
yeah.
was like, hey, why did it skip the teeth? You know, why isn't he had just like, I don't know, metal?
Because he had to be able to like
teeth?
he had to be able to fit in and do like spy shit and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. I mean, it is a do his teeth grow back? I guess
mean-
they do, right? Like if he gets his teeth knocked out.
I mean, let's face it, Wolverine's origin is something that, like, I think they just had a cool design idea for a character, and they just thought backwards from there for him. Because, I mean, his origins was a mystery, and that was a big deal for him for a long time.
Don't you talk about don't say correct things about Wolverine.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's totally like it's so backwards, done backwards, basically. That like the original appearance of Wolverine, if you look at Hulk 180, 181, he has like no hair on his arms, which doesn't even make any sense because his arms seem to be bare, but he's Wolverine. Like there's an issue, one of the first ones I remember reading as a kid. He gets his I think he gets blown up right at the very beginning, big bomb or something like that. So all his hair's gone. And then the rest of the issue takes place almost in real time. And as the issue goes forward, like each panel, basically his hair is a little bit longer. So like that's how I came to understand how his healing factor worked as a little kid. And so like there's no reason why he should have no hair on his arms in those original appearances, except they hadn't really decided he was going to be a hairy guy yet. Also, they didn't say that his claws were bonded to his hands or anything in those original appearances. The way that it was originally conceived, they didn't say this either, thankfully. But like those were gloves. There's gloves with claws on them that he wore.
Huh.
So it was only after that first appearance in Hulk, and then the intervening time between that and then Giant Size X-Men #1, when he really made his full mutant appearance, that they decided these other things. But even still, there's some issues of Uncanny X-Men back then that his arms are not hairy whenever he's got the Wolverine costume on, and then canonically there was like some kind of miscommunication with like the artist and whatever. Canonically, they've kind of retconned to say that he was wearing flesh-colored sleeves in those appearances.
Huh.
So that's weird.
That is
No,
weird.
you don't. Fuck you. No, you don't. No, you might, man. You might.
So what we're saying is that Wolverine is nothing more than a giant retcon of a character.
The point that I wanted to make a video about this at one point. Like Chuds are always talking about, oh, it's just design has made this character to check boxes or whatever, to identity boxes, and it's like, well, that's Wolverine. You had trying to remember who was involved here. It was whoever the editor was at the time. Told Lin Wein that he wanted to create a character that was Canadian, short, and then also like ferocious and blah blah blah. It's like it literally told him to create this character. Here's the boxes to check. One of them having to do with where he's from. One of them having to do with his physical characteristics. I don't see that as any different than, wow, my head's like just floating. Cool. Anyway, I don't see that as any different than whatever they're talking about usually, Chuds, but.
Well, none of those were brown, so.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. And true, no vagina as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fair point. You got me.
All right. Let's get to this before we completely EFAP their EFAP.
I was trying for it, All right.
Let's enjoy the future. I don't like this film.
Fucking Christ, man. Let's see. We're 29 seconds in. He's said a couple of reductive things and then just started to sound like he might have some point to make. And then he just says he doesn't like it. Okay.
So listen, we've just started
It's a
this
deep
video,
argument.
but why haven't you laid out all your arguments for why
No,
you
it
don't
seems
like this
weird
movie?
that we haven't seen any evidence that the film is bad yet. Like,
Yeah. Come on, man. You've had 30
Goddamn slacker.
I mean, it's literally like, I mean, yes, there's the joke of like, yeah, he hasn't said anything yet, but like, okay. But even being fair and realistic, like, what can you say something that gets us an idea of, because it's really just saying things in a demeaning tone about like, being really reductive and cynical about, and it's like, if you're just going to be cynical about a movie like this, then don't see movies like this.
True.
You know what I mean? you have to want to fucking have a good time, I think, to some degree. This
Yeah, you
comes
don't-
off as just somebody who's looking for the cynical take to have.
So you don't have the heart for a movie like this, and that's okay. Just accept it.
You know what? I understand, and I understand where you're coming from because I also don't like this movie. Makes
Please
me
share.
sad.
Because we don't know.
Makes me a little bit mad.
You know that visual, that series of visuals, they, if anything, they belong at the end of Logan. But after a good like minute or so to have taken in what the movie did as a goodbye, they don't fucking deserve to plaster it over this film. It's so embarrassing.
What is
Like,
all
get
this
the fuck out.
emotionally charged fucking vague gestures to shit? Like they don't deserve to this, you know, like actually it would have been tonally fucking weird to have that at the end of Logan.
It would be fucking bizarre. You imagine, like, you see the
with the song
put down, then you hear Green Day start playing, and have some like goofy behind the scenes video of like James Marsden dancing or whatever. Like,
Yeah, and have Chris Evans come out and say this, you know, all his shit that yeah.
You know what Logan needed? The Fantastic Four.
Yes.
I mean, look, man.
That's
I
insane.
look. Just full disclosure here at the beginning, a disclaimer. I am on the autism spectrum, so everything I'm about to say is perfectly okay. Okay. These guys love to use tism as like an insult. You know, they say, "Oh, this tism is strong" or whatever. Well, fuck, I don't know. I've seen it around, right? They love to say that shit. I legitimately think that Mauler's fucking tism is he lets it limit him in his understanding of things, like because he just chooses to be fucking obstinate. And
Well, I was
and
about
like,
ready to say, not only that, but he frames it as at least as a good thing, as like this is just me, and this is the way you should view stuff. You don't view it this way, you're wrong, and you're bad, and that's how he frames it.
oh my god, guy. I mean, that's a crazy argument. I've never heard that before. No, of course. Like, I don't know if you're being
we agree
ironic or what. Like, we've made these arguments.
I 100% agree. And
the point is that like he's valid. I mean, he can have whatever fucking opinion he wants to. It's literally, yeah, he's got it. It's doing pretty well for him. But I don't feel like these opinions come from a place of like wanting to give media a good fair shake. Generally, just the way he talks about it is. Do I need to show you the tweet where he said that just a few years ago I had like a couple hundred subscribers and then I made a video about The Last Jedi being shit and I suddenly had 100,000 subscribers? Like that's gonna incentivize people to make certain types of content, and it's done well for him. So why would he ever, except for I guess the off chance here or there, like he's going to be incentivized to be maximum cynical and not receptive to shit.
Out of here.
I can't, I just walking away from the film. It's just so, I'm just struck by the cynicism.
Oh my god!
What's frustrating though.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So they seem very offended by the movie.
Well, you just said cynicism. Like, no, man, you just.
Well, I mean, they seem upset because it disrespected the film Logan, which I mean, I guess you can say that. But the thing to keep in mind is it's a fucking Deadpool movie. Disrespect is part of the game,
right?
And the Logan film is not like a crying child. You can make fun of it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Wait, are they applying the same logic? Are they saying that like basically in the same way that they see the entire Star Wars franchise is ruined because of The Last Jedi or whatever, that like that something can actually retroactively affect movies that are separate from, like, is that kind of how they're looking at it? I don't know. I don't know.
Don't ask me. I've never understood that argument. So
yeah, I don't know either.
But the fact that I don't think it was Mauler's, whatever the other fucking guy is. Just called it the cynicism of it, right? It's like, okay, yeah, but also not really, because it's done with love. The cynicism is like the love and appreciation, the reverence is couched in cynicism, and there's layers to it with Deadpool. You know what I mean? Whereas like, I don't know.
I feel like the Cosmonaut Variety Hour video on Deadpool did a pretty good job of explaining that, because he was talking about how a lot of movies will have cameos that feel like they're trying to say, hey, you like that character, you like that character, you like that character. And he described Deadpool and Wolverine as being like, hey, you like that character? Because we like him too. Like it felt very sincere in its inclusion, all of that. And like you want the fun like PowerPoint slide at the end and everything to come after like a fun, happy movie and not after one of the bleakest ones in the entire franchise, Like, of course, that's when they're going to do that.
Well, I mean, they're not going to do that right after, like, oh, everyone you care about in these videos is dead in this canonically after this movie.
They chose characters like fucking Elektra, who had a universally known to have a terrible movie, her solo movie. And then she was spun off. That movie was spun off from a pretty bad Daredevil movie, honestly. And then
the director's cut was better, but yeah, it's not great remotely.
Yeah, barely. It had some cool court scenes added to it. That's about it. It still had the goddamn playground fight. Okay, they didn't get rid of that, but like, it still had fucking Ben Affleck pretending to be blind.
Hey, I will say that Deadpool movie suffered a lot, in my opinion, when the actual series came out. I went, oh god damn it, yeah, this is Daredevil.
Yeah. So Elektra, choosing that should tell you that they chose it. I watched an interview with Sean Levy after I saw the movie, so I know this specifically. They chose these characters because they were ones that they felt like didn't, literally in the movie they give them an ending. They wanted to give them more of a wrap this stuff up. They didn't get a fair shake, they feel like. And they could have chosen fucking Captain America, like Chris Evans could have been Captain America.
He was there.
That would have been like the pandery cynical cameo thing.
Yeah.
And then Blade, I think, is probably the only one that's like generally most people would like consider him a cool character for the most part, except for that last movie, really.
I think for the most part they were I think that's kind of like a callback, because I'm pretty sure that was Ryan Reynolds' first superhero movie, and also there's the reports that him and Wesley Snipes didn't get along. So
yes,
I think they're just
because my favorite joke in the movie was I'll say that now, probably something else will pop out next time I watch it. But leaving the theater, I was still chuckling at whenever he Blade says, "I don't like you," and he's like, "Yeah, you never really did." It's like you gotta know the inside scoop of fucking Blade Trinity's production troubles to know that joke, to get that joke.
Was that it worked. It's making a lot of money. It's really successful. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't be that this this approach to trying to tell a story, revitalize a series, works. It shouldn't. You remember how they were making all of those comments about, we're not going to disrespect the ending of Logan. We're not going to.
That's not what they said. That's not what
I
they
don't
said.
recall them
I looked
ever
into
saying
because
that.
I wanted to see how they because I was a bit surprised at first. I was like, wait, what? They're actually doing something with the corpse. Okay. And for a second, I was like, that seems like they promised they wouldn't do that. No, what they promised was they were not going to bring that version of Logan back. And they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. Bro is dead.
Yeah.
Tread all over that. And then the fact that the film actually has him literally dig up his corpse and then use it to kill a bunch of TVA
That's
agents.
the joke.
That was man. What?
Yeah, that's the joke, man.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
Look, you did it.
It is funny. It was uncomfortable at first because, like I said, I fucking love that movie. For like 20 seconds, I was like, oh my God, they're really doing this. And then it basically dared me to get over it. And I did. You know what I mean? Like, it dared me to just have fun. It's fucking stop thinking that way about it. I still love that movie.
It's a Deadpool movie. Don't go in there expecting reverence to superhero movies.
Also,
and I say that even though Deadpool is a fan of a lot of these superheroes.
Yeah,
he gets pretty fucking crass about it.
As a Wolverine fan, I was really happy to see the adamantium skeleton. I'm sorry, I'll take it. Even if I saw it little pieces at a time, going through TVA heads and stuff. Anyway,
I mean, Deadpool's the exact type
Look at him
of
go.
I was just going to add, Deadpool's the exact type of superhero to ask questions like Jason Lee and Mallrats to wonder about things, rock, dong, and shit like that.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic can his whole body stretch, like even his dick.
Yeah.
It's all so superficial and surface level. Like this film, because Logan I can rewatch and recommend.
Can I just say that, like, so far, maybe they get into the deepest criticism ever in the remaining however many minutes, but like so far, this has been the most superficial fucking commentary on the movie that I'm surprised.
These guys are objective film viewers. Objectively, they spent 3 minutes right now around there. It's going, I don't like it.
Appealing to their specific preferences and their emotions about things, right?
Yeah.
And it's like this is obviously, if there's anyone in here being like, oh, it's just their opinions and all, don't, like, if this was like two just random YouTubers, like, we wouldn't be doing this, it's fine if people want to sit and have a live stream where they're talking about this movie that they don't like, right? It's specifically because it's Mauler and he has a certain standard, and his fans come after you if you even try to say anything about him, saying that he's objective, that he does all this, and that he's very thought out and well articulated and stuff, and we're just kind of saying no.
Like if you build your entire internet persona around being a smarmy motherfucker, like, you better have some bulletproof shit, otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and also just, because we're probably going to end up hearing these things regurgitated back to us, then at least, we're getting ahead of it. We know what we can expect to hear down the line forever. Because they love to just repeat what he says as if it's an original thought.
Yeah.
And especially in line with like you could have like a watch recommendation for the Fox universe or whatever. But like this one, the best it has, and this isn't even from this is directly from people who love this film. It's like it's a mess of a film that I have fun with. And you're like, damn, man, imagine what.
And this isn't about Mauler in particular, but like you mentioned, it made me think of that. I was wondering about this. So that is something you hear a lot. I've even kind of alluded to. It's kind of a messy plot or whatever. Like, what do you guys think of specifically whenever if you've said that or thought that it's a messy movie? What exactly do you find messy about it?
I mean, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But like, what is? I'm sorry to be pedantic or whatever.
Like characters kind of popping up that you weren't, that you weren't expecting to have. The plot takes a lot of detours and goes in all of these different directions before ultimately reaching the end. It's not really like a linear story.
True. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. It's about how I see it too.
I like that. It's like that.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of seems like that's part of it to me. It's once you start introducing multiverse stuff into a story, you kind of just, it's almost like you're obligated to get a little wacky with it. Like, think about the Spider-Verse movies and, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, this is not a movie where I was going into it saying, like, I want to know, I didn't want it to be predictable. I did not want to know exactly where it's going. I didn't want to, I didn't need this movie to have some extremely solid script that I just can't find any inconsistencies in. Like, it's goofy, it's fun, it had some emotional moments, and it was a good time. That was what I needed it to be.
I mean, look, I would say that as much as I don't think the MCU has just been like terrible, like some people seem to think it has been, I think this movie had what a lot of the more recent stuff hasn't had enough of or consistent enough of, which is just like, have fucking fun with this experience. Right. There's a lot of like, I expected this to do more, to kind of branch off into other stuff, and it didn't. It kind of kept it like insular to Fox universe stuff or whatever, which I thought was kind of considering that Feige, Disney, whoever very easily could have told them they have to do certain things that are going to spin off into future projects or whatever.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do that. So
Yeah, no, this movie was a love letter to the Fox universe. Actually, Dean in my comments brought up a very good point. They did miss a cameo with Foggy Nelson. He was right there, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. That would have been confusing. Like, why you wouldn't just hire the same actor that's been in the movie since the first Iron Man film to play another character later on in the MCU, would you?
No. They did long game with him.
This film could have been.
Yeah, I think that's the frustrating thing, is that there should not be. You should not have the expectation or the belief that this is the best that you could have expected from a Deadpool and Wolverine team up movie.
But I mean, it kind
I don't know
of
what
is.
It's I thought it was pretty
As
good.
someone who's read a lot of Deadpool and Wolverine comics, it is exactly really what you want from it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, what are they expecting other than this kind of movie, you know?
I mean, they're almost like a classic comedy duo. And if you think about it, you know, you got Deadpool, who's your goofball, and then you got Wolverine, who's the straight man, who you know, they're playing off each other.
I don't think they have
and
those in
honestly, I think it's a
movies
great
anymore.
combo. Yeah. I
don't have
also
those in movies
doubt
anymore?
Like,
these
what-
guys know anything about that. Knowing
Like, what's the perfect Deadpool and Wolverine movie to them? Is it just like Logan, but with Deadpool in it, too, also acting
I would
serious? Like,
love Deadpool and Logan.
yeah, you'd be sacrificing the character of Deadpool if you're doing something like that, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it'd be more like Ultimate Deadpool if they did that. Which, you know, if anybody's ever read that shit, it was Deadpool in name only.
like they could either make him like Deadpool super serious and then he's not Deadpool anymore, or make Logan, but then also have Deadpool be himself in it, and then suddenly it's not Logan anymore. You know, like Deadpool
bring back-
Wolverine. Like, this is the kind of movie you make with these two.
I mean, I guess I could say that, like, the one thing that they might have something, you know, and I don't think they really are familiar with the source material to be coming from this perspective, but maybe, is that if it wasn't a multiverse shenanigans movie, then there could be more of you know, kind of, I guess, character driven plot that really kind of, you know, digs more into this version of Wolverine, and you know, like, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're maybe you could say that there was a potential characterization that was not, they didn't do anything with, because they were spent a lot of time on doing the shenanigans. I don't know that that's necessarily like a fault against the movie that they didn't do that.
There were definitely a couple of misses, I felt like, with Wolverine. Like, in particular, I felt like his backstory was just, it didn't really justify some of the weight that he was given. Like, I don't know, I guess, like, I have gripes here and there with how specific things were handled, but the general, like, premise of the film, I feel like, is pretty much exactly what I would have wanted. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It depends on what they mean by, is this the best? Because is it literally perfect? No. But is it, you know, one of the best possible approaches? I would say probably, yeah.
Are you talking about Wolverine's backstory?
Yeah.
They're comparing it to something that doesn't exist.
I don't know. I just thought, like, they're like, oh, he's the worst Logan. And then I felt like what he did wasn't as bad as it could have been. Like, I felt like maybe a flashback.
No, but I think the important thing was what he felt about it. And what he felt about was, like, he just did the worst thing he could have.
And it's also informed by, like, the fact that he didn't ever really let himself be part of this family that he clearly knew he could be part of, and he just didn't, you know, until it was too late. He didn't.
Oh, I agree with that. Was fantastic. I thought, like, the actual individual character work, I just would, like, maybe it would have just been better to see, like, a flashback. You don't even need to see a flashback of, like, the X-Men dying or anything, but literally just a flashback to what he was like in that moment, so you can see, like, the way that he was behaving, so that you see why he felt so guilty. Because just saying, like, oh, he wasn't there because he was drinking or whatever, like, I don't feel like I had enough context to feel like he should have.
I think, let me correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he said something briefly about that he was the reason, like, that he had been killing people that weren't necessarily bad guys or something like that. And
I mean,
was
that
that
also
in
came
response to
afterwards,
them?
right? Yeah, response to all of them dying, then he killed people.
So that's
and
the
not
part
just
that I think he also, it's all kind of like it's all a package deal, right? Like, he feels guilt about killing these innocent people, not bad guys, essentially, out of grief, right? From losing, you know, it's all kind of compounded there.
Yeah, but I still think like the main core of his grief, you know, comes from, like you said, you know, the potential of having a family and, you know, not having that because of his own stupid decisions and stuff. And honestly, because I was also expecting it to be, in a way, I don't know, like, worse than what it ended up being. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know, I'm actually glad that the worst Wolverine is still not that bad, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Like the worst Wolverine isn't a villain per se.
Well, that's kind
you
of
know?
the point that Laura makes to him, right? Is that like they all think
Yeah.
they're the worst. They all think they're
Mhm.
terrible and the wrong guy. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of the thing until he realizes, oh wait, I'm actually not. You know, it's just
Yeah.
a thing that all Wolverines seem to have to go through. Which
like
is,
that.
you know, that's good thing there. Yeah, I mean, and of course, I can extrapolate all kinds of stuff from like, you know, that's not in the movie, so that wouldn't be fair to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and do it real quick. So, like, if you consider the fact that if we assume that his life leading up to being in the X-Men was generally about the same as it is, you know, in other examples of Wolverine, he kind of squandered the opportunity to have this peace in this family that in the regular Marvel universe he eventually embraces and goes on to become a teacher and the headmaster of the school and shit like that. You know, a lot of growth there. He squandered that. He didn't take advantage of it, and then they get killed. You know, like that would be a pretty thick layer of grief on top of it. But anyway.
If you had fun, sure, okay. But like, why does that preclude the possibility that there was a better version of this story that existed?
Nobody
that there
said
could have
that,
been a better
though.
version of this story. That
Nobody has said there's literally no better version of, like, nobody's literally coming out here and saying not a single thing about the film could be improved.
What if I told
No.
you that pretty much every single movie ever made could possibly be improved? There's
Imagine-
continuity errors, there's little detail errors
Not
that
Madam
wrong in
Web.
every single fucking movie.
Imagine applying this logic to everything in life, man.
Yeah.
You're fucking like you would never be happy ever. You'd never
Yeah.
be satisfied with anything. Like that was the best steak I've ever had. Yeah, but you know, there's probably a better steak out there somewhere, right? Like
I feel like it could have
Now I
been
can't
pulled
enjoy it.
off the grill like 5 seconds earlier, and it wouldn't have been
Yeah.
better. God.
But I mean, it's just like it's such a sneaky little straw man being inserted in there. Like people are telling him that they like this movie, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to interpret that as them saying it literally can't be improved." It's like, yeah, okay, you can win any argument if that's what people are saying, but that's not what they're saying. So
it is.
I mean, in general, you can win any argument if you just make up the argument for the other person.
Yeah, true.
It is
You'll
fucking
never lose.
notable that these guys will do shit exactly like you just described, and yet like their audience will show up in our chats or whatever whenever we're criticizing something of theirs. And I know you know this, Bob, too. Like, and they'll be like, no, specifically, exactly, that's not what he said exactly, kind of thing. You know, they'll get real pedantic about word choices and things like that. And if you at all say anything that doesn't 100% accurately represent something they've said, then you're just fucking bad faith. It's pretty interesting.
I don't know what EFAP fans you get, Dane, but mine are always like well thought out and reasonable and courteous and nice.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it's just me that's attracting the wackos.
I mean, in between the insults and the profanity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was coherent and meaningfully paid respect to its characters.
It did.
Why is it that this has to be the best that we could have expected?
What a fucking
who are you asking?
weird.
So, like, I mean, I'm trying to figure out: are they saying it's bad? Or are they saying it could have been better? Because one of those things, like, yeah, sure, but it doesn't mean it's bad. Come on. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just honestly to me, it comes off like they kind of had decided ahead of time that they needed to talk shit on this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like.
They didn't get the memo that Phantom Menace was liking this.
Guys, we're 3 minutes into this video.
We do need to get on it. We're really fapping it.
All right,
They
I'm gonna
really
let
are
it go
saying a
for
lot
a
of
full
shit.
minute now. All right.
And I don't know, man. I suppose it's just unfortunate because if someone says that, it's like, okay, I didn't have fun
No, I
watching
didn't
it. I didn't have fun. It was very much a case of just sitting there, kind of like, all right, and then like as soon as you walk out, thinking like, yep, that didn't really follow, that didn't make sense. But the thing is everybody seems to very much be on board with the idea that the plot doesn't make any sense. It seems like it's a little bit harder to get to the point of accepting that the characters were not treated right.
No.
That both Deadpool and Wolverine were done a massive disservice by this film. What would you point to as a meaningful, substantive point of praise for this film? I'm asking you specifically.
And then I'm going to pause it now because it's been right at a minute. And thankfully he asked that question because I was getting to the point where like, can you please say something substantive?
Do you want to know something I thought was really good about the movie? The fucking characterization of Deadpool and especially Wolverine.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of shit brained, I mean, look, these are people that like think that the characterization of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi was bad. So like already just, fuck off with your analysis because it sucks. You're wrong. No, they were treated with a lot of respect, like clearly a lot of respect. There's literally been a kind of back. Bob, you might have seen this in recent Marvel comics. They have it's called Weapon Extraction. It's been like a little 2-3 page adventure that's running throughout different titles at the end of each issue.
I have not picked up. I have not seen any of that, but I've seen like the logo in the corner of books. So I know of
it is designed. It is being published in the just kind of like a secondary story in various comics that like to kind of coincide exactly with this movie because it's literally Deadpool and Wolverine going through the multiverse trying to stop something multiverse from universes from just being destroyed. And I just read the final entry into it today, and spoiler alert, they don't save any universes in the whole thing. They keep fucking like, and the whole time Wolverine is fucking miserable. He's pissed off that he's paired with Deadpool. Deadpool is fucking happy that he's paired with Wolverine, and he's being annoying about it. And like, it is the most accurate fucking depiction of these two characters together. Like, period. That's just what, there's been various X-Force stories, like Rick Remender's X-Force, where Deadpool is portrayed as more like insane and not as funny at all, like, and everybody thinks he's really fucking annoying, but I mean, and the tone of the story is darker for sure, but I mean, it's still the same general dynamic and they're still representing the same kind of perspectives in a story together. So I don't get where they can. I don't know. Love to know what comics are reading.
Yeah.
If you had to give it your best shot.
I mean, the line, he wasn't like the right guy until he was. There's a concept in it that we were talking about it earlier. I would have loved to have seen in the scene itself to talk about, like I said, to talk about the reality that no one likes to talk about. Which, by the way, I just realized this is the fucking speech from Far From Home. It's where.
So real quick, he had to like add some context to that because we do see that explored in this movie. We just don't see it explored in that very specific scene. He had to specify that because it's like, I don't know. I find that really obnoxious and nitpicky.
Wait, and isn't it really interesting when he's asked to praise the film or give like a substantive point of praise, and the best that he can come up with is this would have been good in a better movie. Like, you can just say it was a good element of this film that you wanted to have explored more. It's like, okay, we've decided this movie is bad, so anything good about it is still bad. You can't
it's from that same school of criticism that Critical Drinker does, where he's like, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a really great movie, but just imagine if it was made by some fucking wokey, Gen Z or something like that. It would be terrible.
This is the best movie ever, but gave me cancer.
Definitely don't watch the Daniels Oscar acceptance speech then, if you don't want to have Everything Everywhere All at Once ruined for you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm sure the Daniels are very anti-woke. I've seen their movies.
Yeah.
Really anti-woke.
Spider-Man needs to hear that Iron Man was not perfect. Why does everyone think that? He was a guy. He was full of flaws. He couldn't live up to the very legend that Iron Man is. If she'd done something like that, explained to him that he must be getting tired of everyone explaining how amazing Logan was, especially with how much he's probably living with, and then to admit that she just doesn't know enough about him. He knew a different Logan.
Wait a second, hold on. Is he saying that people were telling him left and right that how amazing Wolverine is or something? Because it really was just Deadpool and Laura. Right? Is that what he's saying?
I don't even know, man.
Seems like, but he also seems like he's complaining about something that really kind of was done and explored.
And I'm more hung up
the way
on
he wanted.
I'm more hung up on the fact that he just wants them to do No Way Home again or Far From Home again or whatever, where he's like, oh yeah, there's this speech in this old movie. I wish that they'd done it like the old movie. It's like, you can just go watch that one. This was going for something a little bit different.
Yeah, why didn't they treat Wolverine the same way they did Spider-Man, right? Like,
Yeah,
why
it's
isn't
like they're
every
different characters.
superhero movie just Logan?
Yeah.
No, it
true.
also seems
I mean,
like they're
fact.
wanting them to explore exclusively through dialogue in that one scene. And that's something that drives me nuts with PFAB fans. Like, everything has to be done through dialogue. No fucking doesn't. No.
They aren't the best with subtext. They aren't the best with, like, emotion.
Visual storytelling, very basic thing of movies.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be objective if it's up to interpretation.
That's true.
I generally believe that's
You're
why.
not wrong. You're
like it's probably why they're so insistent on everything needs to be through dialogue, because unless it's said explicitly, they can't be certain, and then it's not objective. I don't know.
Yeah, they might say something silly by expressing their feelings on a thing.
Exactly.
Can't be vulnerable like that.
All of that shit. The scene itself, it's because it's those two characters, and all they have to say is fucking hello and goodbye, and I'd probably already find the scene meaningful if they act it right. But the line, at the very least, being something that I would like desperately dig for meaning out of, I guess makes the scene, raise up a bit. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that might beat it.
I guess because a lot of people are saying the acting, to which I would say sure, but I mean the acting was good in Multiverse of Madness. Like, the acting seems to be something.
Okay, so because the acting was good in another movie, the acting being good in this movie doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah.
Okay, that seems totally cool.
And that's
Okay.
also a valid point of praise. You can say, I didn't like Multiverse of Madness, but I liked the performances in it. Like, that is a positive thing. That is something that people can enjoy in a movie, even if they don't like the story.
He's saying it's like a negative thing.
Or they can just say negative things about two movies at once. How about that?
I mean, it was just brought up during the stream. That 2003 Hulk movie, Ang Lee went for something I think he failed kind of miserably. But, like, the three main actors, I thought did pretty well, especially Sam Elliott. Jennifer Connelly was a good Betty Ross, and I thought Eric Bana was underrated as Bruce Banner.
This movie actually
but
got me
Heath
wanting
Ledger
to watch
was
that
better
in other movies
in
that I haven't seen in a long time. I want to watch Hulk punch that dog in the dick again.
True.
Because he does. He punches that Hulk dog right in the dick.
That you can reliably expect to
I
be
thought you were saying like a
good.
writing thing. If it was just an aspect of
That's what I
filmmaking,
meant. Yeah, that's what I meant was writing. Because yes, Hugh Jackman was great in delivering some really bad writing, unfortunately.
Bad writing.
And I mean, I guess I like some of the music choices, but I mean, I don't know. Surely we can do better than that. Like, if we're talking about, substantive praise for the writing. Man, I really wanted it to be. I even clung to the hope of like, oh yeah, but like it's not entirely like a Marvel Studios production because it's got all of the other stuff tied up in it, right? Of like, more producers and like production companies and stuff like that would hopefully act as a essentially to counteract what at this point seems to be like a fundamentally deeply ingrained problem with the way that Marvel makes movies. That's the only way that you can explain such a consistent string of terrible films. But the reality is that this film doesn't feel very much out of lockstep with what's been released consistently over the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, okay. So wow, it's really hard to nail down what they think about this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's just it just suddenly went to it's about as bad as everything else, which I imagine, if we're talking about the Marvels and stuff like that, then they didn't like that one bit.
I mean, we are almost halfway through, and they have yet to make any substantive claim or about like how bad this movie is. Like little bits here and there, but like nothing that qualifies as runtime yet.
It
Jesus.
hurt our feelings about Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made us sad.
Well, that's not a very objective criticism, though, so I don't count that. I don't think it's valid. I mean, wow. It really like.
Or does it got EFAP'd?
Is this? I don't know. I'm really frustrated by the fact that this kind of thing. Their audience is definitely watching this video and thinking they're saying something.
Yeah. That's the thing. They're barely saying anything. Most of his videos been
and then inconsistent whenever they do kind of start to land on like what they feel about it overall. It's like, you know, this stuff's good, this stuff's good, but then the writing, this fucking bad writing bullshit, man. I fucking hate it. I've you know, done videos on it. Me and Little Movie Perp explored this pretty in depth. Like, the idea that you can just go, that's bad writing, and then that's all you got to do. They just say that, and oh, okay, yeah, fair, okay.
No, a lot of these
Well,
guys
it's like
are really
obvious,
bad.
isn't it?
They're really terrible about just saying bad. X is bad. Y is bad.
But it's mainly
they
writing.
are
from these
terrible
guys.
about elaborating.
Well, and especially because bad writing can mean so many different things. And by
Yeah.
just like by generalizing it, you know, it's like, okay, do you mean that the dialogue was bad? Because that felt like what he was implying there. But like a movie can have bad dialogue and have a good plot, or vice versa. Like it has to, it's such a vague generalization that it makes it impossible. Like you're not actually giving us any information, you
I would
know,
argue
specify.
that, like, considering the range of bizarre, fucking wonky concepts that exist in this movie, and that they kind of just like, for the most part, I mean, I'm sure I could pick out watching it again a few things that aren't done as well or whatever, but like, I'm talking about a movie where you've got a guy from Fantastic Four, then you've got Blade, Vampire Hunter, and like, you know, mutants and all this shit, like, and it's kind of just works generally. Like it all congeals into a story with a, you know, maybe it's a messy story, but like it doesn't feel like any of this stuff is out of place, despite being a pretty, you know, big range of wacky concepts. I'd say that's probably good writing, you know. That
Yeah, I mean, I could actually say that I think this movie works because it is messy, but somehow it brings it all together and makes it cohesive.
Yeah, I agree with this. It's like I like watching videos where people are going over, you know, a script and all the different, like, whether it's the dialogue, whether it's plot holes, whether it's the plot, different stuff. You know, it's like proving why they believe that the writing is bad in a certain scene and stuff. You know, and I can find that entertaining. I don't always agree with it because, like, bad when people say bad writing, it's not objective, you know, but it's
that, yeah, exactly. The reason that they don't get into detail is because by doing that, it would just reveal that it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like I enjoy seeing people's opinions on that, you know, not because like, oh, tell me the answer, you know, but just rather I like hearing different perspectives on movies.
Yeah,
but when
someone
is just, yeah, but like when someone is just, oh yeah, this is just bad writing and doesn't elaborate, like, okay,
there's a whole army of fucking, you know, not really media literate chuds out there who think that that's just a legitimate thing to say and that's all you have to say, and it's like the magic word that shuts down any, you know, you can't say anything positive in return to that because I've already said it's bad writing.
Yeah,
and that seems
because,
to be
and it's and for their sake, right? If like they want to have a good argument, if you give evidence and you explain in depth and elaborate why exactly in which parts and stuff, it's so much more difficult for someone like us, you know, to go in and counteract that. If you just say, oh, this is just bad writing, someone can just say, no, it's not.
Yep.
Those are the same arguments.
Well, but you know what they do then is
There's no difference.
they would put the onus on you. Sorry, microphone there. They put the onus on you to explain why it's good writing.
No, I get that in my comments where people will be like, prove to me that this is well written. And I'm like, what question? What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, you haven't proven that it's bad writing. Like we just continue in circles.
I actually have a clip about this that I think is really relevant, and we should watch it here in a second whenever I find it. If somebody wants to press play, or we can wait, or whatever. But it is super relevant.
I don't know. It just seems like it's filled with a lot of that if it was that given time, it will be recognized that many of the things, in particular, that have been singled out as points of praise, will be referenced in the future as being very comparable to the kinds of trends that we saw in a lot of similar, like, big multiverse crossover films that have been released over the last few years. because a
fucking
lot
what?
of the fundamental building blocks are the same. But how much can you really say, well, yeah, you know, like this film's got a lot going for it when the plot, everybody
I'm
seems
waiting
to
for
agree,
examples.
is like down to its core foundationally, completely and utterly broken. And that the characters don't seem to be acting consistently with the way that they were portrayed in their prior stories, which is
Gonna explain how?
Yeah, there's no fucking examples,
So-
no elaboration.
Characters portrayed how we've seen them in their prior stories. So Deadpool is like what? Deadpool 2 is 6 years old, and I don't see any inconsistency there. This is not the same Logan we've seen any other time, so I don't see any issue to.
But even still, he is recognizable as
Yes.
Wolverine.
And
not
as
just
far as
because
other
of the yellow tights.
characters, yeah, as far as other characters outside of Happy, we haven't seen most of these characters in at least 10 years. Channing Tatum's Gambit, we've never fucking seen him before. That was
Yeah,
the
that was out
point,
of
to bring him
character
in just to
because he
get
wasn't
just to give
canceled.
him to him. Yeah.
I mean, what are we pissed off that it didn't fit or didn't conform 100% to the characterization of the Elektra movie? Be like, oh man, she acted slightly different in this. Her dialogue was better. What the
Man,
fuck was the deal with that?
I wanted to be completely fucking bored like I was during that Elektra movie when she popped up, but instead I was enjoying myself. What garbage.
Yeah, remember the lady with the tattoos or the guy with the tattoos that attacked people? That was cool. KEWL.
Remember how all the bad guys disappear into green dust? That was cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. Bring it back. All right.
Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
By the way, I want to clear this up. I did this on the stream the other day, but I want to make sure everybody understands because I've seen some people saying that Channing Tatum did not do a good Cajun accent. You're wrong. He did a very good Cajun accent. The problem is Channing Tatum isn't a very good actor. So
yeah.
While the dialect was pretty good, as someone who lived in Louisiana and down in the South and stuff, it's pretty good, spot on. His overall delivery is still just Channing Tatum.
Wasn't like it the whole point that it was bad?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like
no, I mean, I know lots of people saying, "Hey, let's give him a movie." I'm not gonna lie, seeing that cameo, I was like, I'm glad he did a movie.
I mean, but I'm thinking that like if they did, I don't know, maybe I'm just naive here, but I was thinking like if they did an actual movie, like they would do a lot better. But they thought, what would be funny if like you just sound weird, like the way you pronounce things is weird. I don't know if that was on purpose. That's what I thought, but maybe it's.
I mean, if you watch any Channing Tatum movies, he's not a fucking De Niro or anything.
No, he's not a.
I mean, I like the Jump Street movies because they kind of lean to it into it occasionally, where he's not the great range.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not saying that like an emotional scene would be like the greatest piece of cinema, but it's like I don't know. I feel like they were leaning into it a bit.
They were for sure.
Yeah, and I think if he got a Gambit movie, I have a feeling it would be better, but maybe not.
That's true. I mean, it might be better if they treat
2
it
hours
more
of this.
seriously.
I'll be honest. I hope they don't continue with him. I mean, it's fine. I'm glad that we got this. It's like I don't hate it or anything, but like
no,
I do want to see maybe like a young no name actor that like is really just takes hold of this role and becomes fucking Gambit. That's Gambit the same way that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, that's what I would want.
I mean, he looked out of place.
Yeah.
It was fun for the movie, and I think they were trying to make it fun and funny.
I do think it's wild we're talking about this because this is kind of decent size spoiler, but like it's been all over the internet at this point, so I don't even feel the need to say anything.
All right, true. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you click on something where people are talking about this movie at this point, and you haven't seen it, you kind of should just like not click on the movie if it's really important to you.
Yeah,
I'm sure on the video rather.
All right, we can do this, guys. We can do this.
All right.
I probably have
huge part of what
I just have like 10-15 minutes left before I have to.
No, we're finishing this, Turf.
You have to stay here till we're done.
No.
This film is banking on is the pre-existing continuity. But the whole point of making a sequel,
like every
the whole
fucking
point of your
MCU
story
movie?
being set after another one is that you accept and get to extract a lot of the material that exists in those prior stories, but you're also bound to what they established about your characters and your world. You don't just get to hit the reset button because you want to pivot away to some other.
Wait a second, you fucking moron. In some cases, that's exactly what you get to do with a multiverse. You may not like it. You may think it's a fucking cheat, but that's exactly what you get to do with, you know, I mean, and they still didn't do it like to any, like, it's really the details of his story that are different, not anything. Like, I don't understand what man, I would love to just ask them direct questions, but you know, they're not going to let us do that because we just want attention.
Yes.
Like, what do you think is so different about this Wolverine? Please define that, because what's different about Deadpool, as a matter of fact?
Yeah, I mean, those two acted very similar to what they've acted in the other movies they've been in. You know, like, okay, maybe not like Logan Wolverine, you know, but like it's still Wolverine, and it's still the Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
I mean, I personally thought Hugh Jackman kind of stole the show with this movie. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, he was pretty great.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He is pretty good.
But I mean, also, like, think about Chris Hemsworth as Thor. He, you know, kind of changed how he was playing the character pretty dramatically at a certain point. Just, you know, and it's like it worked.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was thinking about Deadpool and Wolverine. I was like, wait, Chris Hemsworth? And
yeah, you didn't see that?
Yeah. Yeah, when he's holding Deadpool and he's dying, yeah.
Yeah, that was out of character, actually. I don't think he would do that.
Yeah, true.
Apparently that was taken from the Dark World footage. So.
I was wondering if it was just reusing the scene with Loki or not, or if they were like using a different test, because I was like, that definitely was old, but
why was Thor crying, you know? Like, are we ever going to find that out? I actually do hope that in Secret Wars, this is followed up on. That would be amazing.
That would be fun.
Set of goals that you have. But like, if you've got a case where the plot is insane, the main characters of the film are acting completely incongruent with their fundamental motivations or their prior character arcs.
They're not.
The
They don't.
themes are
How's that?
completely
You're not. They
like
don't.
a mess as a consequence.
You haven't made that case, you fucking idiots.
What is there aside from essentially very superficial, surface level points of praise, like about specific bits of iconography that are from the comics, or specific music choices, or a dance sequence? Never mind all of the damage that's been dealt to the prior canon, because again, it feels like something that's worth emphasizing.
Prior canon that is pretty much not even around anymore. You do understand the Fox universe is pretty much done. This is like, I wasn't even expecting this movie to be a swan song, but it was kind of a swan song. But that universe is fucking done.
I'm also I don't know where how we've gotten to the point where people like the first thing you need to do is prove why you like something. Like, I feel like that's very backwards, you know. It's like, okay, I like this movie, and then someone's like just demanding to prove why it's not shit. I feel like, and maybe that's just my fault, but it's like people should start off by proving why they don't like it, you know. Like, he hasn't done that. He's demanding. It's like why do you like it so much, you know? Like, what's good about this? We already know it's horrible. Like, no, we don't. You haven't talked about it. You haven't elaborated on anything of why you don't like it.
Too much.
Well, and also,
no.
I mean, talking about like, superficial points of praise, like that dance sequence, like, it wasn't just a superficial, beyond like generally decent camera work. Like, that was also an in-character scene for our title character. It's not as though, like, if that dance scene had been Logan and it had been identical, I don't think that people would have been praising it as much, because they'd been like, why the fuck is he doing that, right? But because of the character that they chose to be doing, like, it's not, you know, I don't know, they seem to seriously think that anything that isn't dialogue or just like outright stated isn't part of the writing, but it's like, it's all part, it's not superficial, you know.
Do you think if like Deadpool was just sitting down and actually just like saying or like narrating what was happening, we didn't see anything of that title sequence, he just like, and now I dance, you know, and he just explains all of it, do you think they would like it better?
No, these guys possibly.
Probably.
I'm Deadpool, and I am fairly comfortable with
excellent point, Blackwing Gaming. I want to point something out here. Holy shit, you've landed on something. Anybody that's, you know, sometimes sometimes suffered, I would say, through those early Marvel movies, knows that the goddamn continuity between X-Men 1 and 2 and X-Men 2 and 3 is just, if it wasn't Wolverine or Magneto or Professor X, they didn't give a fuck. They just would, you know,
continuity in the Fox universe is fucking garbage. Let's be real.
anybody that's trying to appeal to like the you know, some kind of purity of the you know, canon throughout those films or whatever, it's like you are fucking full of shit. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, just Storm's accent for one thing.
Yeah.
What the hell?
She had an accent, then it was gone. What?
I mean, is Trask Bill Duke or Peter Dinklage?
Right. You couldn't get two more different guys.
They weren't the same actor? They looked identical. What?
Yeah. Like, wow. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit stunned now. I'm having these flashes of like all the things that frustrated me about those movies back in the day, and I'm like, he actually has tried to appeal to that.
It's like, which continuity are they supposed to stick with in Deadpool and Wolverine? Like, are they supposed to pick the movie that they have decided is the best one and, you know, continue with the continuity from that? Is it supposed to be from the most recent movie? Like, should we be, you know, watching and rewatching New Mutants to make sure that we don't contradict it in any way? Like, what, you know, what does this mean? If only there were podcasters famous for giving long rants that could give us a really well thought out explanation of exactly what they're talking about.
Actually, use that time for something fucking useful. God damn it.
I want to go ahead and add something. So keep in mind, in 1992, Magneto looked like Michael Fassbender. In 2000, Magneto looks like Ian McKellen. That's a rough 8 fucking years. I'm just saying.
Yep. I mean, Cyclops was both in high school in like the 70s and just like a decade later in the 80s too.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Listen to this shit. I'm gonna blow your mind. Out of all of the Foxmen movies, the ones that have the most consistent continuity are the Deadpool films.
Yeah, true. At least, like, yeah. I mean, the fact is that those movies know what they are and just have fun with it.
Right. You know what? They even call it out. Deadpool says it's your brother, Sabretooth, and it's like, well, but he really wasn't in that incarnation, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, surprised, like, Mystique is Professor X's sister now. Like, anything, you know, anyone could be. Honestly, I feel like there could be a decent bit in there somewhere if they'd introduced a new character in this film and just been like, oh yeah, this has been Wolverine's brother this whole time or whatever. Like, just some guy named Jeff we've never seen before. Like, all right, sure.
That would be awesome.
Deadpool, literally, you're right. Deadpool has called it out before. It's Jesus. These guys couldn't be more cartoonish versions of themselves than what they're doing. All right,
we can do.
We're almost there, kind of. Maybe
when you're watching Logan and you see the end of the film in the continuity of that world, his corpse gets both metaphorically and figuratively dug up and then thrown at a bunch of the MCU sludge.
It's not metaphorical, really, at all. It's quite literal, but yeah.
And also, do they think that Logan was the same Wolverine from the other movies, because it's explicitly was stated that's a different?
Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah.
Mangold said it's not the same Wolverine as from like the X-Men movies. So, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, okay, holy shit. Okay, if they had a problem with Luke Skywalker's characterization in Last Jedi, they should have had a problem with Logan's in Logan. Considering where we left him, like when you think about the last time we really saw him, he was happy. Everything was going good. You know, it was the end of Days of Future Past. Everybody was back. Everybody's cool. Look, Professor's back, Jean's back, Scott's back. The school's fucking thriving. Everything is great. But why have the next time we see him, you know, if they think that that's the same Logan, that is he's all grumpy and he can't get his claws up and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's all upset. He's given up on life. Logan would never do that. That's not my Logan. Like, yeah, what the hell?
That's actually a really good point.
It's an excellent point. I hadn't even thought about it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And as I
it's deflating.
There's nothing we could say to further push this point to the forefront. Me and Friggy went into this being like, man.
Actually, there's a lot of things you could do to make your argument better, but
I'm curious what he's about to say. Did they go into it really excited and looking for the positives, or?
I mean, they're about ready to get to the meat and potatoes of this whole fucking argument, right? We're most of the way through this. We're almost there, right?
They don't sound excited to talk about this. I don't know about you guys. If you're feeling this down about something, are you like do you talk about it then? If you're really this, I don't know. This negative about something.
I will tell you what this feels like to me. It feels like these guys went into it deciding they're going to hate it, and now they just have to work backwards live.
And they're having a hard time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the frustration that they feel is probably very real. It's just not frustration with the movie itself. It's frustration with trying to make it seem like, really terrible, when it's like it's at worst it's just like a pretty kind of messy in places, but generally fun movie. They could go after the humor and say that a lot of the jokes fall flat or something like that, when it's like, as Morgan and I were talking about recently, and this is important to think about, a lot of Deadpool's humor is supposed to fall flat.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to not be funny to anybody but himself in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Deadpool is a character that finds himself way more entertaining than the audience generally does. At least way more than I do.
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be great.
That was the hope. The hope was at the very least that it would get some laughs out of me.
There we go.
If you go to the real BBC coverage of the trailers,
you'll
see that I'm like trying to defend the movie as being like, this looks like it's got potential. We've got some good stuff here, and it's like, yeah, but it's fucking MCU Phase 5, whatever. It's like, yeah, but like, look, they're gonna be using an alternative reality Wolverine that made far worse choices to.
We actually watched their coverage. I don't know if that was the real BBC or was it him on Nerdrotic and shit.
Yeah, which was hilarious.
We have a video about that. Because Nerdrotic called out, like, accurately that the villain was Polaris, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polaris, a character famous for her long green hair and just green features. That's what we got as the villain in
that was the
Deadpool
villain.
Logan. Did you guys miss that?
I must have fallen asleep.
Yeah. That was the main villain.
Yeah. Must have been.
Reflect like the opposite of what a Wolverine should be and is, and he's going to have to deal with people who knew a better Wolverine. He's going to create all kinds of conflict with that, and there's so many options they could take that. And then, like, it is the multiverse. You do have a small spark sometimes of like,
Christ, man. Like,
there's no reason they can't have any of these particular characters.
He's not even engaging with what's literally in the movie. He's like, this Wolverine doesn't give a fuck really what anybody thinks until it gets to, he kind of cares about Laura, I suppose. And at that point, he is kind of realizing that he's got to work through some shit, I think. But like, why would he give a fuck? First of all, there's only a couple of people that know the other Wolverine, or no, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't come up really. It's not the point of the movie. He's just in his own fucking trauma world, and he doesn't give a shit what he just kind of is annoyed anytime Deadpool or somebody brings it up. That Wolverine's supposed to be some great hero or whatever, because like he doesn't think he can be that. I don't know. It's just, you'd almost be writing a completely different movie, and they're the only justification for saying that that's really necessary is if this was just terrible and a bad representation of Wolverine, which it's not. It's just not. All right, I'm gonna not talk for a full minute now.
I do have to get going because I need to get up tomorrow. But I just want to say this video has been. I mean, it's been fun to react to because you guys. It's been an absolute chore. Yeah, they are. I mean, I get the whole EFAP thing now. Yeah. If they could react to themselves, they'd have content forever.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
This is really not good.
That'd be the day when they do that.
And a day literally, because it'll take about that long.
It will take a day. Yes. Anyways, have fun.
Yep. Have a
See
good
you
one,
guys
man.
later. Peace out.
Later.
You guys should subscribe to that kid. He's pretty cool.
Yes.
Oh, he's still on. Fuck.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey guys,
Yeah. Here's
fucking
this.
do that. Mm.
Unbridled. Unbridled.
Unbridled.
Unbridled.
Unbridled. Unbridled. Unbridled. Unmitigated. Unbridled.
Unbridled.
Unbridled. Mummy, I clogged the toilet with an unbridled doo-doo.
Classy stuff. All right. I just like to throw images together and then make myself laugh, and then I go, okay, I'm done now. You know?
That
Not
we
much
know and
to it.
love come in and do something really substantive and meaningful and well executed that makes you think, man, that's so cool that they got them to do that. Like, I don't really care if I'm on an island with it. It's just, I would rather have not seen Chris Evans reprise his role as the Human Torch if it meant
Why?
watching him get nut shotted, back broken, and then stripped
Why?
of his skin.
Why?
Yeah, is it just
just
like
not
is
what I-
the entire
What did they
argument
did they
just our
love his
feelings?
character so much because those Fantastic Four movies were so fucking good? Like what?
So beloved.
What the hell?
Everybody loved it. I mean, look, he was the best part of those movies for sure. But yeah, that's just a weird thing to be against, honestly. Like, it's almost like choosing that character, that version of the character anyway, is a pretty fucking innocuous kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I didn't feel offended or anything about it.
I mean, they obviously did it just because, you could have little tease of Captain America, Deadpool getting really excited, and then just, oh yeah, no, we're in the Fox universe, buddy.
If I didn't know ahead of time that he was playing the character he plays, then if I would have, if that kind of like fake out that they tried to do would have worked, it would have been pretty great, but it didn't work because I already knew. So
Oh, I didn't even know it in advance because I saw it
I
opening night,
didn't
so I
know
hadn't
it.
heard it reported. But like the second that he leaned into it being Captain America, I was like, oh, that's what it's gonna be. And I like looked over at my girlfriend, and then I looked at it, and I was like, I almost spoiled it for her. 'Cause, like I know what they're gonna do here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I went through watching it because I didn't know going in. I had heard Chris Evans is in it, but then they lean into Captain America. It's like, okay, either Captain America's in this or they're gonna have fun subverting us with Human Torch. And I just
think
waited
so,
to see which
Avenger.
one it was.
I think you nailed it. It's the only thing we can extrapolate from this.
I
think
want to
I've-
see. I was like, okay, well, that's.
I think
that.
something that's making me a little bit upset as well is the realization that I don't know, Deadpool 1 and 2 in particular, the first Deadpool. I don't know. It seems like it has gone.
Okay, hold on. Okay, guy. Okay, man. I don't know if you're familiar with EFAP. It seems like you might not be. Like, this is the reason these specific content creators, because I've seen them several times now, just basically repeating that like people are allowed to like things without giving a reason. Yeah, that's true, except for EFAP. I'm sorry, they've made a fucking name for themselves by literally having problems with things that people like or not like, but generally things they like.
These guys classify themselves, I'm sure they do, as movie reviewers. They talk about movies. They should be able to at least somewhat succinctly summarize their opinions on those movies, and essentially tell us those opinions. This is something they consistently fail to fucking do.
Do I need to pull up some clips, guy? Are you seriously not familiar with them, or are you like actually a fan of theirs and you're just kind of like trying to derail the stream? Which one is it? Because I can pull up some clips to show you why exactly it is that these guys, kind of call this on themselves to be.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say, can you criticize someone for not liking something? No, not that by themselves, but you can criticize when you get into the details of it, which these guys are failing to do. And that's mainly what we're criticizing them for, failing to get into the details, failing to do what a good movie reviewer actually does.
Right. Yeah, we're not saying that we have a problem with them not liking it. We're saying, say why. Now, I'm not saying why as in like, no, you can't not like that thing. I'm saying why is you're not fucking explaining why it is. They have hours and hours long podcasts where I guess I've always assumed there was a little bit more to it than this, maybe, but maybe not. I'm not going to watch all that shit.
They are insufferable, but like, goddamn, this is really bad. I mean,
Their
this is only
reasons have
15
been
minutes.
valid.
Think it'd be somewhat more succinct. Fuck.
How have their reasons been valid? When I mean, there's several examples that we've talked about where it doesn't even make any sense what they're saying. That like they just are making a statement and not backing it up with anything.
I would like you, Guy, and I guess this is for all the EFAP fans. Explain how their reasons are valid and ours are not.
Okay, you just don't get the assignment, man. That's fine, but just pipe down.
I mean, we're literally talking about guys that will decide they don't like someone before watching their content, and then have decide that person probably likes a movie they don't like, and then use that as a point of criticism. Like,
I know. Thank you. I believe me. I appreciate this sentiment because I say it all the time myself. I do believe that everyone has a subjective experience to this stuff and a relationship to media, and that is good and fine, and that nobody can take that away from you or tell you that you're actually wrong. The issue with these guys in particular, try to follow me, is that they don't believe that. They do go around to people who are just making a video because they liked a Star Wars movie or whatever, and then they will fucking just like rail on these people for hours. Much smaller channels generally too, and just rail on them and fucking do personal attacks on them and stuff like that just because they like this Star Wars, right? And that's the thing that ultimately we have a problem with, and we're showing here that they aren't justified in doing that because they can't even fucking explain why they don't like something. Not in any way that is something I can go, I can't even say I disagree, but I get what you're saying. I can't say that about like anything they're saying here. You know what I mean? Because I don't get what they're saying. They're just in a lot of cases saying shit that seems like they're wrong or lying. I don't know. Like, I don't understand. I wish I could understand why this Wolverine is so out of character, or Deadpool is so different from previous ones, because I watched the Deadpool movies not too long ago, and I don't see it.
Yeah, it seemed like the same Deadpool, pretty verbatim. So that needs decently explained.
Wait, what if they're fans of the X-Men Origin Wolverine?
Oh, you're right. It is. It doesn't
He's really
respect that
different
Deadpool.
Shit. Okay.
We've been going about this all wrong.
Yeah,
that was the original Deadpool. That's the one they have to keep clean. It's the pure Deadpool right there.
I was actually surprised that we didn't get an appearance from that version of Deadpool in this. At least not that I saw.
That could have been funny, yeah.
I mean, like, especially because Deadpool 2 opened with a joke about Logan's death. So, and then they brought that back, and Deadpool 1 had the action figure. So I was like, okay, clearly they're fine with like going back to the same joke. But then it just like didn't happen.
They had the opportunity to do it too. They could have had him with the army of Deadpools.
That was what I mean. That was what I was thinking, right? I feel like you could have even gotten like a funny little face off, like a decent fight scene there.
Yeah.
That I mean, for a popcorn movie and everything, like I thought that that was an opportunity.
I would forgive it if they paused the movie for a moment just to have the two Deadpools face off and be like, wait, what are you doing here? You're not
I mean, you make
Deadpool,
it seem like this really big character moment for him.
Yeah.
Like this has been his goal the entire time,
So, for example, this right here, that's cool, man. That's good. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. But this person's not saying anything that is like making a claim on the movie that I literally watched with my own eyes. That seems to be, out of left field, and also they're not. This person presumably is not an EFAP. So, I hope I'm making the case there. I'm getting kind of hungry, so I feel like I'm like a little bit out of it. But did I make the point there?
We can power through this, and then we got a little bit left to cover. But God, this is taking a while. Jesus,
underappreciated. In terms of its qualities, and how sound it is. And
what's underappreciated?
Its success. its success ought to be directly attributed to its quality rather than simply it being different than a lot of the superhero films that were coming out at the time. It wasn't just that it had meta humor or that it was edgy or that it made jokes at the expense of and made fun of like trends in comic book movies. Deadpool 1 in particular is just a really sound, like, it's a really sound movie where they made a lot of really good decisions in terms of how to pace it, how to establish the characters, how to balance comedy and drama. And that it's really unfortunate that it seems that Deadpool and Wolverine is being viewed as comparable or in line with the thought process and methodology behind the creation of that film, when that is not the case. This film is very much, in many ways, in keeping with MCU sludge. Has a lot of the same
in many ways
tenets of MCU sludge.
And those ways are
the other Deadpool film.
And those ways are. And then he starts listing them, right? Okay.
Which felt like they were actually trying to be unique and provide something unique, and had thought and care put into the crafting of those stories.
Okay, please tell me that most of you watching can tell that, despite saying words, do you have any clearer idea of what they're saying? You know, about the movie itself? Because I don't.
Nothing specific.
Yeah,
they're saying they're not doing it with care. They're saying it's the same thing as bad writing. It's like the bad writing, they're not doing it with care. They're disrespecting the characters. It's like these are fucking things that superficial fucking media illiterate people, honestly, that think they are very literate but are actually not. That they think that this means something without anything to substantiate it. But
really,
you do need to substantiate these if you want to convey your ideas to people. Not to say that you're gonna be. I'm gonna say you're wrong. I might say I'll disagree, but I can't even get to that point because I don't fucking understand what you're saying. You're not saying anything.
I think I was just gonna
continue.
I'm gonna try to break it down and say what they're saying is that this movie tonally is like an MCU movie and not a Deadpool movie. Which I'll say they can have that opinion. I disagree. Very much.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely, you know, at least partially because of it being rated R and having Deadpool, you know, swearing and talking about certain things, you know, that like and taking the piss out of a franchise that generally takes itself kind of seriously. That is the tone of Deadpool movies, and it's not so much the tone of MCU movies, but also it is an MCU movie technically, so like it should kind of feel like it's part of that franchise.
Well, I think it's also, I will also say, like, if somebody wants to say, hey, what should I watch before going into this? The three things I came away thinking, you know, it's good to be familiar with: Logan, Deadpool 2, and Loki Season 1. Only one of those is fucking MCU.
Yep.
But you should wholly expect that the wrong lessons will be taken from this film, which is particularly catastrophic when this film has a lot of flaws, more flaws than No Way Home. The lesson will be, yes, more multiverse stuff for legacy characters. Find ways to grab them, get them in there. And they might even have the lesson of like, yeah, you know, just have a little bit of edge, you know, sometimes a character say fuck and maybe there's a little bit of blood. Oh yeah, that means.
So whenever they do get any kind of close to specific, even though it's not really, I wouldn't call this specific, what they do is okay, they're referencing the fact that they curse and that there's blood and stuff. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere, but really it's just used as a way to generalize and dismiss it all.
This seems like they're criticizing what could happen in the future because of this movie, which is a really weird fucking critique. It's not even a critique of this movie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, fine that you have that opinion, that you think that they're going to take the wrong lessons from this. You should probably first give us the lessons that Deadpool, like you should probably give us a full critique of Deadpool first. Yeah. Like the fact that the first specific point we're making is not about the film feels like maybe we went wrong somewhere.
Okay, so yes, you're right. They've said that, and I'm asking for something to back that up, to like let me know what they mean by that, because I can make that kind of claim about all kinds of shit. So if I was gonna say that this version of Wolverine is, the characterization is all wrong, and now I'm gonna be making something up here because I don't think the characterization is wrong, but I'm gonna give you an example if it was. This Wolverine, he likes to fart and laugh at fart jokes and stuff like that, and he's just never done that before. Like, that'd be a specific example, a really stupid one.
Yeah, this
But, like,
Wolverine, all he does is tell jokes.
yeah, he's just constantly joking. This Deadpool is really serious. Like that would be a really egregious fucking, just like completely, somebody got their wires really crossed on that version. You know what I mean? But they don't do that. There's nothing. It's just it's vague gesturing to things that like, and the reason they do that is because their audience doesn't need to hear any specifics. To them, it's a feeling. They already think that that's true, right? Many of them don't even watch the movies. They watch EFAP. And so they just vaguely gesture to this being a different, the writing is bad or the characterization is wrong or whatever it is. And they go, yeah, that's true. That's true. Specifics would actually hurt their argument with their audience. So, dude, what the fuck? You're constantly coming into chat and just saying weird shit. I don't even know what you're talking about, man. Like, what are you saying? Get out of here.
We're doing the right thing, right?
Hey, X-23 put on her glasses. But
Yeah.
she wore them in Logan, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Yep,
that's
that was it.
specifically-
That was
why
all
is
they
that
did with
bad?
her.
It is
Why
miserable
is that
corporate
bad?
slop. And
Why is that bad?
Yeah, if that was all that she did in the entire film, I'd agree that's dumb. But like, she did more things, Oh, what? Give examples.
And he called it visual corporate slop. How is that? Like, these are fucking buzzwords that their audience relate to at this point. They, the sludge is one that they love to call the MCU sludge, by the way, if you haven't heard that. So that's just,
I think
hitting
that's from a
the-
critical drinker, but he might
hitting the
not.
trigger
It's from
words.
somewhere else.
We're almost done, guys. We're like almost done.
Do this.
Absolutely.
Every time they release something like this, it means that we could have had something fucking awesome, or even acceptably
Well, now the
cool.
opportunity is forever gone. There
It's
will never
gone,
be
yeah.
your first opportunity to have Deadpool and Wolverine team up.
Yes, every movie can be better. Can we just judge this movie for what it is? Is that too much to fucking ask? Holy shit.
Except Shawshank.
True.
That's gone forever. Because if they try to make more Deadpool and Wolverine films as well, strictly from a financial standpoint, I don't see that they perform better. It feels like it's definitely got to be a case of diminishing returns because the novelty is gone. That's really
Depends. That 100% depends, but
a big thing that's helping the film is the novelty of it all. But once
Yeah.
that erodes, what's left? In the case of Deadpool, because it had novelty working for it, you had a really cool movie. In the case of this one, you've just got a very, in many ways, very standard Phase 4, Phase 5 movie.
you gonna
Which
go into
probably
detail?
sums it up, eh? Is there anything
Yeah,
else you want to
very
say
dis-
about?
Oh, that sums it up. That makes it clear. Thank you, guys. The fuck?
A standard movie that made, is now the highest selling R-rated film ever in anything. Literally, just like all the other shit, just like the Marvels, right?
Sure. We're almost done, but oh my god.
This
Disappointing.
wonderful
Very,
movie.
very, very disappointing. So disappointing.
Yes.
God damn it.
Obviously won't be ever thinking of this film as canon as Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan are, where the story finishes for both of these guys.
Yes.
That was always an option for you, and that means you don't have to be upset. Fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm fucking just like, I'm over it. I can't believe that at the end of this now, they started with saying that they fucking ruined Logan. They shit all over that, desecrated it, blah, blah, whatever they said. But like, the general thing was that because he digs up his corpse, that they fucked up that movie somehow. And now he says, well, of course it's not canon to that. I'm not going to include that in my mind because you could always do that. That's always an option. Just like, the Star Wars movies ends after The Last Jedi. That's it. Nothing happens after that.
I mean,
It's
I'm
weird, but
sorry.
that's how it is.
The idea of going into a Deadpool movie and expecting Deadpool to be respectful of anything. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, that just shows they misunderstand the character Deadpool and have no like room to stand on to like say that this is a mischaracterization of Deadpool. Yeah.
Especially if we're getting Wolverine and Deadpool team up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, team up with fucking every other person you could imagine, and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man to fight Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom.
I don't know about Rob Downey Jr., but get Deadpool and Spider-Man team up. I am game. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
that's something that I
Man,
think
the
Shad
critical
said
mass
on.
of sludge. Oh my
Shad said it
God.
on FNT that's very likely what we should expect is that they will have the RDJ Iron Man fight the RDJ Doom. And I was like,
Man,
I don't know that they're really going to do that.
Yeah, I feel like
that's
I
actually
could end up eating
I
my
don't know if
words
they
here, but that does
do,
not feel
and
likely at all.
I don't think so, but if they do, I think it would be like very brief. But I don't know. I don't think they would do that. I think to show off how powerful Doom is, they'll probably have him kill off a CGI Kang.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
just
this is a good
saying.
point, Mikey. Like, Deadpool doesn't respect the mediums in which he is presented. That's the point of it. He doesn't fucking respect this is supposed to be a story that you're supposed to be immersed in this story. You're not supposed to literally look at the audience, and that's the whole point of Deadpool. He doesn't give a shit. Deadpool and Spider-Man could be good because it's actually Spider-Man Deadpool the way they present in the comics generally. With the movie, I guess it would be whichever one is more popular. So in the comics, it's like Wolverine is kind of his entry point into becoming a better person in a lot of ways, from just being the kind of irreverent hitman who doesn't give a fuck or really have any morals. Wolverine kind of gets him started on that path. Spider-Man is the one who actually there's several. I mean, they had a ongoing series for a while where he actually does start to learn how to be a better human being based on Spider-Man, his example, which is pretty cool. And if they did something like that might be neat. Are we done? Is it over? What?
No, we got a couple minutes left. We can do this. We said we'd do it. We can do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a bad guess.
It's just,
man.
Isn't that the height of it? That's the
sludge.
Ouroboros
Yeah,
has reached critical mass.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this movie sucks because in the future, RDJ might fight RDJ.
Yeah.
You thought that it was over? Nope. This film will spur them into the belief of, yes, we are making the right decisions. This film's success will make Marvel think, you know what? We're back on track.
But they're not, because
Were they
even though
ever
they made a
completely
shitload of
off
money,
track? I mean, the Marvels was a bomb, and then that's kind of about it. Like every year, they've had a pretty successful movie, if I'm remembering correctly. I mean, obviously not 2020 because like movies were canceled for the most part in 2020. But every other year, I think they've had a solid hit on their hands.
they've clearly kind of adjusted their plans, which is a smart thing to do. The only movie they're putting out this year is a runaway fucking success.
Yeah.
Man, they're still kind of at the bottom rung though, I guess.
Yeah,
Most
2021
people
was
generally had a lot of fun with this movie and liked it a lot.
Mhm.
But but they say that it's actually corporate sludge or something, so fair enough. Good point, I guess.
Brace yourselves for some sludge.
Yep.
It's coming. They got trucks full of it rolling down the street, ready to blast you with it.
Well, and this film's the red carpet, isn't it, for that? It's like, hey, you like this? Well, guess what? We're bringing up fucking everyone.
Okay, so you're just a fan. Like,
so
you
bad.
can stop pretending now,
Fire
man.
cooking
Like,
all
you're
day
giving it away.
long.
Yeah,
Let's fucking go.
go. Ooh.
Well, it's probably a good place to wrap. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you had some fun. This feels like a very,
Not really, man.
very
Not a whole lot.
unpopular
I
perspective,
need to watch
but
Hulk
that's all
fucking
right.
punch a dog in the dick. Sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, like, I just feel like they didn't even make any particularly interesting inflammatory points or anything. It was just
No.
like it was just nothing. Like if we're talking sludge, like I got no value out of that commentary whatsoever.
EFAP is tough to sit through, but how's that 15-minute feel like so much worse? Holy shit. They said nothing. Like they said nothing that I kind of summarized in my 500-word newspaper reviews, and then also had like 475 other words to play around with.
Of course they don't. Perp. Hey, what's up? How's it going, by the way? They don't generally talk about stuff that they like. I don't think. I mean, here and there, I know they have. Because their fans will be quick to bring those few things up. And cool. I'm glad that there are some things that they like and they'll actually talk about. But they're incentivized to mostly talk about things that they don't like and be very, very reductive about it, as they're doing with this. Like, I mean, just saying the line from the trailer in a mocking tone. Let's fucking go. Like, yeah, man, that is a line in the movie. What's your point?
A
What's your point?
badass line in the movie too.
Yeah, they like Gina Carano for no reason. True. No, man. All right, Ghost Shot. Like, you're doing the thing again that I kicked you for my chat the other day, where you're like saying a bunch of nonsense and then thinking that everybody's following you. I guarantee you that nobody is following what the fuck you're talking about.
What factual statements did they make?
No, I think he's talking about what he's saying in chat.
Oh.
Which is just, he's really condescending. He likes to pretend like he's saying something way above everybody else's fucking comprehension, and he's really just kind of like seems a little bit delusional. Kind of fucking idiot. So, but I don't like his fucking attitude, so I'm banning him again.
Oh no, we'll lose his valuable insight, Dane.
This is the guy that the other day said, because I said that DEI programs don't go far enough to create equity and inequality, and in some cases, and this is information that I've got from listening to black activists. Actually, this isn't something I pulled out of my ass. I said they don't go far enough, and that they're not perfect programs, but they're generally pretty good. This person in my chat said that I'm no different than a chud for saying that.
I mean, well,
yeah,
that was pretty much identical.
To what?
I felt like I could hear Nerdrotic saying that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Nerdrotic is constantly pushing for diversity,
and now he's lying, as if I'm not going to go literally edit together something now that's going to show you saying this and then what I actually said on the stream. Yeah, you're really stupid, man. Exactly what I said. All right.
We had a couple more things.
Why do people test me, man? Why do they test me?
Did anything ever happen with people who are wanting to like come on and argue? I know you said there was one guy.
They never do. No. They just never do. Ghost Shot goes for you as well, though. Email me. Discord is DaneAF. Can't drop a link in chat, but I will send you one through DM or email or Twitter DM. Just find me. Say you want to come on and talk. We can have a conversation. That's true. That's true. I've heard this from the most reputable sources have said this about me. And then Guy J still doesn't understand the assignment. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to stop looking in chat now. Anyways.
All right, well,
man, that shit put me in a sour mood. Like, listen to these fucking guys for that long. Like, actually trying, I'm going out of my way to listen to what they're saying and to form, like, put together even a point that they're not accurate or adequately making, but I'm trying to put it together in my mind, and it's just impossible because they don't give you anything. It's all just vague allusions to shit. Wow. EFAP sucks.
True. Let's see. We had a couple other things to go over. Do we want to go over some highlights from the Trump Musk?
Yeah, I have a
interview?
clip. I have a little like a short video of highlights actually.
Oh, awesome. Let's go into yours.
It went really well for them. I think they everything
Oh
went
yeah.
without a hitch.
It's
They
my
made
understanding
they
there's no
both look like
technical issues.
they
It
both
went
look like really
perfectly
intelligent
well.
men who
Yes.
who have a lot of important things to say.
True.
Let me find that. So did you guys notice that Trump sounds weird?
I just noticed I know he sounds way older than he used to. Like way older than he even did 4 years ago.
Okay, here we go.
Happened to Donald Trump.
Very sad situation. Such a sad situation.
Out of nowhere, he seems to have developed a lisp.
And then you do want silencing of certain voices.
Listening to his chat with Elon Musk, you couldn't help but hear him slurring his words.
Sounds like Daffy Duck, man.
What is wrong with Trump's voice? Did he get dental work done? What did Trump's spokesperson have to say when asked about it? Must be your blank hearing. Get your ears checked out. The chat is plagued by technical issues. It started 40 minutes late. Those who logged on were greeted by this message and elevator music.
My apologies for the late start.
Trump spoke directly into his iPhone from Mar-a-Lago, and his interview with Musk went on for 2 hours, with Trump blasting all his usual targets. But he actually had one nice thing to say about Kamala Harris and her new Time magazine cover.
She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. She looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania.
Yeah.
She didn't look like Camilla, but of course she's a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that.
The Harris campaign is slamming the interview, calling Trump and Musk self-obsessed rich guys who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024. Some reports today described it as rambling and a catastrophe. But Trump and Musk are hailing it as a triumph with all-time record views hits. Meanwhile, Trump's apparent frustration with the state of his campaign is fodder for the late-night
Okay.
A massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this,
So they uploaded that fucking clip, man. Why would we watch the last 15 minutes? Because they literally uploaded that and presented that as a complete video that you can watch. This is really fucking hard cope. Sorry that your guys suck, man, but like that's how videos work.
This massive attack illustrates there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say. Part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the President of the United States for having another term here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant.
What was it like to be shot at? You know, was that cool or did you have a good time that day?
Yeah, that was fun.
I wonder if Trump had the same issues with technology that he did when he went to the whatever it was National Association of Black Journalists, where he spent like significant portions of that interview shit talking them for not having their like mic set working.
I have a clip of some stuff with that included too.
Okay, does he? But I mean, does he like make fun of Elon Musk at all, or is he?
No, of course not.
Suspiciously gonna be a sweetheart about it now.
No, the video that I have, it's like actually a compilation of many times in his history that he just very specifically, when it comes to black women, he gets this weird attitude. You know, it's kind of notable. So,
I do think it's hilarious how a lot of the anti-Kamala Harris stuff I've seen is extremely racist and sexist. It's like,
or just
wow,
like just making claims. Let's like an
Jesus
EFAP fucking
Christ.
claim right here. Like, what is this based
Yeah.
on? Nothing. Whoops.
To be honest. I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood.
The sort of slide that got
I
you to
didn't
turn.
know I had that much blood. Does he mean like the couple of little ribbons of blood that were like on his face?
Yeah, when the glass hit his ear. Oh, ow. Oh.
Yeah. Hey, it might not have been glass. It might have been like a shell casing, piece of the shell
Oh,
casing.
no.
It definitely just almost certainly wasn't an entire bullet, though.
That saved your life, really, was the illegal immigration slide. That slide saved
You're
your
right.
life,
No,
basically.
the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right. Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. And she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the headlines of every newspaper. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different.
Yeah.
Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started.
And he hasn't done any public appearances, really. A couple, I think, since the shooting, but like he's kind of not out there much, considering he's literally running for president. Like, where's he been? What's he doing?
Yeah, it's not like he stepped down from running or anything. He is, yeah.
I think people are not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think of that in the context of global security.
When they see a Kamala or when they see Biden sleep.
Throughout these clips, I keep on noticing how I'm certain he's doing it on purpose. He keeps on slaughtering Kamala Harris's name and saying it in different ways, and seem like he's having trouble saying it. And it's like,
I think he's having trouble talking. He's literally saying,
maybe.
Like, I don't want to make fun of anybody for speech impediment, but he's suddenly gained one, and it's fucking jarring.
Joe. They can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on strike. I won't mention the name.
Right here, by the way, I got something following up on this because this.
Yeah,
is
no,
fun.
I definitely want to address this because
so they have had charges filed against them now for this conversation.
So if those people had a contract, which I assume they did, you can't just fire them for that shit.
Right. So the UAW files federal labor charges against Donald Trump and Elon Musk after threatening workers on X interview. It's fucking crazy how terrible these guys are at, like, the thing they're supposed to be good at, right?
Mr. President, as your lawyer, I advise you to keep talking.
Real quick, so I had a union meeting the other day. One of the big topics of the union meeting was Project 2025, because part of that bill, because it has all this shit in it, part of it is the complete dismantling of unions at the federal level and supporting what it's like employee groups or something like that. And the obvious goal is to eliminate contracts and shit like that. So everybody's just off on their own, fighting all by themselves. Frankly, I cannot stress this enough. I don't care what your opinion is on Project 2025. Here's what I will tell you. Project 2025 is against you. If you are not the super wealthy, Project 2025 is against you. If there's anybody who's taking money from the Heritage Foundation, assume they're working for Project 2025. It's that simple.
Union Bob. That's why we call you Union Bob.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was my rant.
the fact they're getting fucking sued is funny to me. It's just hilarious.
On strike, and you say that's okay. You're all gone. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states, where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho. Not every state will do great because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great. She is terrible. She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time Magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great first lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave
Why? All right, one more thing here.
Now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians.
She's virtually, I mean, she's got some major problems, to put it mildly. I said, of course I hate these people, and let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need if we're going to get something done.
Donald Trump has been a racist, a bigot, a misogynist his entire life. But if there's one subsection of people that get under his skin the most, it is the black woman.
You want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. Why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit.
Whether it be Abby Phillips from CNN or Rachel Scott at ABC News, Trump is...
I mean, I don't know, because he's got late-stage syphilis brain or something. Who knows why he does what he doesn't. Like,
I mean, maybe in an attempt to get Georgia, like in some last-ditch effort, like, oh, maybe he's going to perform fantastically.
Right. Yeah.
But imagine wanting to be the president of the United States and being upset that people are being too mean to you, like that they're asking you too hard-hitting of questions. Like, I just, like, if I were a fan of this guy, I don't know, like, I could not fathom being impressed by that performance. Like, dude, you're supposed to be able to be like cool under the threat of nuclear war, and you can't emotionally handle someone being a little rude.
He was
to
asking
you.
questions, and she's also black, so like that's got to be really hard for him.
It is rough.
That's true. She probably shouldn't have done that. She probably should have been a white woman
Very
to ask that
inconsiderate,
question, or a man, ideally.
Yeah. And then just also like not ask those questions too, because that's really also the problem. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know, man. He is a fucking, and this is not a compliment about who he was in 2016, but he is definitely a shell of what he was then. You know, it was still to me just a transparently fucking narcissistic kind of a monster back then, but like I don't know,
He's lost the sauce.
It's almost sad, but I don't think it's possible for me to be sad for this guy at this point, but like it is almost that. For any other person it would be kind of sad.
He's always shown a particular contempt toward black women in the media who challenge him.
I
Sir,
have
if you
a
don't mind, I'd
hostile
love
judge.
to. We have you for a limited time, sir. I'd love to move on to different
No,
topics.
excuse
if
you.
we
You're the
can.
one that held me up for 35 minutes, just so you understand. I mean, it's just, I can understand you perfectly.
Because she's closer.
I can understand you.
Happy to hear that, sir.
But if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my
me-
goodness.
I mean, look, he's an entertainer first. He should at least understand to know your audience, and literally everybody in the audience is going to identify with their perspective over his. Like, it's yeah, this is it's some kind of thing for black journalists, which so he's like trying to appeal to them in the audience, and they're all just like, yeah, man, we're watching this happen. You're not doing too well.
I mean, I'm excited for Superman's upcoming interview with Kryptonite,
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I mean, it's a longer video. It goes on and on. He continues to, say shitty things about primarily black women. Oddly, I'd never really noticed that until it's all put together like that.
Well, I actually have a short under 1 minute video of a guy just summarizing the whole interview for us. He does a really solid job.
What's going on, mi gente? Let me give you a quick rundown of last night's interview between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. This is what happened. A selfish, greedy, rich asshole who literally bought the platform in which the interview took place with the goal of being an asshole to people who knows he's an asshole, was trying to help another selfish, greedy, rich asshole to convince a bunch of selfish, broke-ass, delusional assholes that the selfish, greedy, rich assholes who were conducting the interview are actually looking for ways to make the lives of the selfish, broke-ass, delusional assholes better for them, even though both of the selfish, greedy, rich assholes have already proven to all assholes that neither one of them give two fucks about any other assholes but the damn selves. Stay woke, mi gente.
Yeah, I mean, like A++ on how he pronounces asshole for sure. Like, it's no notes on that, really any of it. But
I guess, but before we completely walk away from that, real quick, guys, the election is, let me just get serious for a moment. The election is coming up. It looks good for Kamala Harris. It does. It looks like we're already getting Florida polls where it looks like Trump is in danger in fucking Florida, which not
That's
something
wild.
I thought I'd see in my lifetime. It looks good, but we all got to go out and vote. We all got to vote. We can't.
It's not
just
one
be
until
like,
four until.
it's yeah. He won in 2016 because people assumed he lost.
Well, so there's somebody made a good point. I don't remember where I was seeing this, but like they said it's weird that he's not trying harder, right? That he's actually in some cases seems to be just like fine undermining his own campaign. And why is that? Is it because he doesn't care? He doesn't want to be president? No, it's probably because he's got some other, irons in the fire about how he might become that anyway. So there's probably some kind of scheme, almost definitely some types of schemes that are gonna, become more clear as it gets closer to the day.
I'll be honest. I think he is trying. I think he's floundering because he has no idea how to go after Kamala Harris without being just a racist piece of shit.
Well, I guess what I mean is like the people in his orbit, the same ones that were willing to try and enact January 6th, or there's going to be people trying to do similar shit.
Yes, there will. Yes, there will. And there is always that fear. And keep in mind, the Republicans have it kind of rigged right now. They don't have to win popular vote. They consistently lose popular vote. They just gotta get that electoral college.
I don't think they won a popular vote. It's been like decades now, right?
I think other than Bush after 9/11, I don't think they have in the last like 30-ish years. I think the last was Reagan besides Bush. Could be wrong. I don't remember HW off the top of my head, but
that's probably because we keep on shipping all these immigrants in here to vote. Because you come into the country and you get to vote instantly, right?
True.
Yeah, actually, they let you vote right there, like in the next election.
They force you to vote. Actually, they force you to vote Democrat in order to enter the country. It's kind of wild.
And everybody knows, like when they get that initial vote, it's like a times 10. So
and especially, I mean, once you've just gotten out of a mental asylum, because that's where immigrants are coming from, and they bring you up there. They get you out of your straitjacket and everything, and just down the ballot.
You guys ever figure out, like, there's some people reported on it eventually, like why he kept bringing up Hannibal Lecter? Do you know what he was doing?
I legitimately, and I know that it's a little bit of just a wacko out there theory, but I think it may really just be word association. Like the fact that every time he thinks of asylum seekers, he thinks of mental asylums, which makes him think of Hannibal Lecter.
And then also it seems like he thinks Hannibal Lecter is a real guy.
He thinks he died.
I did wonder about that. It did feel like he was treating him like he was a real dude. It's like, dude, no.
It's like
oh my god.
One time I can believe it's a joke. One time you think like, oh, late great Hannibal, but it's like every time. Does he know? Is he gonna run into Anthony Hopkins and be like, oh my god, pleasure to meet you, sir?
Get this guy away from me.
Why are you letting this guy walk the streets?
One of my favorite kind of podcasters, Robert Evans, the only Robert Evans. He was making the point on Twitter the other day that like, he in the moment of being shot at, he managed to think, oh, this is a good PR moment. I can get up and raise my fist. That'll be a great photo for the campaign. Good job, sure. But like after that, he's probably really fucking dealing with some shit like trauma wise. In the immediate aftermath, like after he just was shot at, there's probably a lot of adrenaline pumping. He probably didn't feel any pain in his ear or whatever. And like, but since then, he's probably kind of freaking the fuck out. Internally.
I mean, that combined with like all of the legal shit he's dealing with, combined with the fact that his campaign just got turned on its head, like that has to be a stressful fucking household.
Yeah.
I mean, and then also combined with the fact that he all the legal shit for one thing. So I want to ask you guys this: Elon Musk's and X have raised a weird amount of like they presented a weird amount of defense for why they shouldn't hand over any of the Twitter information that they have access to about a former user who is someone who is involved with the Epstein case. And it's a whole can of worms, but it just seems weird that Musk would not want to play along with that when it's literally like holding up this Epstein case. Because they can't get access to this information. They don't want to give it to them. They presented a bunch of crazy legal arguments why they shouldn't have to, which, legal experts are like, this doesn't even make any sense why you would say this. Essentially what they did was they said, no, you don't need to get that information from us. You need to get it from her when she's the person that's requesting the information for her case in the first place. And it kind of seems like maybe, okay, like, Musk seemed to have some kind of connections to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Just saying. I don't know. There might be something there.
You mean like the photos of them together?
The photos, but then also like
the photos, the extensive listing,
the emails of like doing kung fu classes or whatever.
Has that been verified?
I think so, as far as I know. I mean, I haven't seen anything that's maybe I'm doing a little conspiracy posting here, but like, it's fun,
I mean, here's what we know. We know there's a fuck ton of photos of the two of them. We also know that they, like, when the Epstein list leaked, and I always wanted to stress this because, there are people who are named, like, just named like once or so, and that, I think Cameron Diaz came out and said, "The fuck, I didn't even hear about this shit until it hit the news, and I'm listed." And Epstein did do a thing where he collected celebrities. He liked to bring them over and show them off. So there's lots of people who are listed once, and it's like, it doesn't really it might mean something, but it might mean nothing. Trump was listed extensively. Like, he had like a page dedicated to him. Like, that is not like, oh, he just might have met him once. There is a history.
Last weekend, he was flying around on a charter plane that used to belong to Epstein. I don't believe it was the Lolita Express, but it was still like, that can't be a coincidence, right? Like, it's just weird, man. And then like, I don't know. It's fucking bizarre. Billionaires are kind of shitty people, I think, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
I might be able to get on board with that.
I mean, I will be honest. If all the people who gets all upset about women and minorities in superhero movies redirected that towards millionaires or towards billionaires,
hey, you leave the millionaires alone.
I think we could agree on a lot of stuff, a lot more.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just the behavior, the response to things afterward is definitely something people are gonna include in their analysis, right? And you've literally got this. Just weird. Why would you do this?
Yeah, why don't you want to reveal information? Listen, Jeffrey Epstein is a known sexual predator, a known PDF file. Why are you suppressing information on him, Elon Musk?
Like, they're literally the thing standing in the way of this case going forward. It's just,
I mean, if nothing, it's such bizarre behavior coming from the people who are so ready to jump to accusations on fucking anything, It, like, it's just weird. And in the case of someone like Epstein, whose whole thing was connecting and networking and whatever, like, I would want to be, if I were in a situation where I'd been named in relation to him or whatever, I would immediately want to get out there exactly the context behind that. Like, that would not be something that I'd be interested in, like, hiding. I'd be like, no, to be clear, I like saw him once at a party, it never interacted in any way other than that. But like, the number of people trying to like keep their connections on the DL is just like, it's not a 100% accusation. It's not necessarily proof that they did anything, but in a world where the risk, like the possibility of them being guilty here is like some of the worst crimes imaginable, like I don't know. It's just weird. It's just I
Indeed.
can't really trust any of them.
Yeah, that's what do we have any other topics that we didn't talk about? I feel like we did. Or did we hit everything?
Bob, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. The big one that we didn't hit on because it's in the thumbnail is the lawsuit between is it Iman Khalif, I want to say?
Iman
She named
Khalif
Elon
or
Musk.
Khalif.
Well,
And
yeah, I mean that's not really. There's not a lot to that one yet, but I mean it is just
you can bring it up.
Yeah, it's relevant for sure because they were so desperate to I don't know, paint the Olympics as doing some kind of crazy shit that they just said that a woman is actually a biological man who is trans. And, that's not the case, and put this woman in danger in her home country where you can actually I don't know what the laws are exactly, but it definitely puts you in danger to just be suddenly you're being called a trans woman and then you're out of your country for the Olympics and then you're going to go back to it and you're going to have everybody fucking looking at you, especially because, and this is awesome, she fucking won gold, and it was really cool to see those images of her just clearly very happy having done that. And then what I didn't know about it whenever I first talked about this on stream was that the initial test that said that she had male chromosomes or whatever was actually done by the Russian agency that has been discredited already, and they're very likely that they are doing that to kind of throw a wrench in the works of the Olympics, because it's Russia. They'd be doing shit like that, and I didn't even know any of that, and it's okay, that makes sense. That's probably what it is. It's just Russian agency doing shady Russian shit because Putin told them to. Yeah.
I mean, I think the fact that J.K. Rowling hasn't tweeted in 6 days is so goddamn funny.
She's been told to chill the fuck out. Well,
Iman Khalif got J.K. Rowling to shut up for a few days, and I think we will all take the W on that one.
I mean, I'll let her take the gold on that too. She did it.
She gets.
I
feel we all get a W because we don't have to deal with her for a couple days.
True. What a sad state, man. Morgan and I did a Fapcast about JK last year, and just the irony of, in the 90s, there were people that were burning Harry Potter books, because it was a cult shit or whatever the fuck.
Yes.
And then more recently now, you literally people they burn gender ideology books or whatever the fuck. Books that just basically are hey, here's a book to relate to because you are gender non-conforming or something like that, and they burn that shit, and she's just all on board with that movement. No notes apparently from her.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious because you do occasionally get people who are just hey, J.K. Rowling's not a transphobe. Why are you calling it a transphobe? It's I can literally go to her Twitter at any point. I don't need to save anything. I don't need to record anything. Just go to her Twitter at any point. She's going to be tweeting almost nonstop transphobic stuff. It's almost shocking how obsessed she is with it.
It was just a couple of years ago when it was I think she, literally, sincerely, I think she's transphobic, and then you look at things like was it Robert Galbraith or whatever
yeah.
It's well, that name is specifically there was all these things that kind of pointed to it, but it wasn't clear yet.
At that point, it's now, that might have been a weird coincidence,
Now she's literally just saying some of the most fucking egregious, just vile, not even new or novel fucking transphobic takes. Yeah, she's really gone off the deep end. It seems like being a public transphobe kind of ruins your life. There's several examples of this, and I don't know. Somebody has done a video on that. I'd like to watch it, but yeah, I'm hungry.
Yes, that's a big other story I could think of. But the moral is Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling are terrible. Donald Trump is terrible too.
And it seems like maybe the world is starting to heal.
God, that would be
maybe.
Nice.
I don't want to jump the gun on that, but
yeah, that would be nice though. I mean, I'll be honest. I want the Republican Party to fall apart and rebuild into something that can actually maybe, I don't know, challenge the Democrats on something substantial.
Yeah, but what, dude? Why don't they? The Democrats can like right now they look pretty good for working class because it's really the only option. The Republicans could theoretically fucking go. Let's go back behind closed doors for a little while, work some shit out, and then come back out and like we're the party of the working class and like do some cool shit, offer some cool shit, for workers. But but it's so much easier, I guess, to just call things woke and say everybody's trans or whatever.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, I guess real quick because I feel like we're wrapping up. I got my stream tomorrow. That'll be at 5:00. I got a comic book poll up right now for the last book I'll cover tomorrow. What X-Men book do you guys want me to cover? I've already covered X-Men #1. And
Oh, dude, you got to do Uncanny X-Men. Gail Simone.
That's up there, but it's actually losing right now. So if people want me to cover that, you gotta go in and vote. It was actually neck and neck, but it's actually the numbers are shrinking now. Let me.
That's I don't know. Your audience is just wrong, man. Like, sincerely, it's the book I've been waiting on since the Krakoan era ended, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait on that Gail Simone Uncanny book because anything else doesn't like. This seems like the flagship title, and that'll give me a good idea. I think of how this is gonna go. Sincerely, an amazing, like all-time great X-Men #1 book. One of the one issue.
It is. I mean, X Factor. And X Factor and X Force have kind of fallen behind. It's really between NYX and Uncanny X-Men at this point. And yes, it looks like NYX has a solid lead. There's only 26 votes in, guys. Go in there and vote. Your vote means something. I usually get around 100 on these, so everything could change.
I have an announcement. This came together during the stream. Friday, gonna have a guest returning who's been a while since he's been on, and since he's been on, he has now gone on from doing his own crowdfunded comics to working for Valiant. AJ Ampadu is gonna be on. He's doing Shadow Man now. I'm excited to talk to him about that whole experience and see what it's like making the jump from creator comics to one of the more I guess Valiant's technically independent. I don't know if they're really owned by. I don't know. I mean, it was Jim Shooter's thing that he started. Jim Shooter, former editor in chief at Marvel, and he went on and started Valiant, and then it's been sold a couple times. I don't know. I have to look into it, but.
I will just say his Ninjak and Roku #1 was excellent. I'm looking forward to checking out #2 when it comes up.
Hell yeah. Yeah, incredibly smart dude. And yeah, he gave me permission to use his music last time for pre-stream, so I'm excited about that, to do that again.
Nice.
He's got some cool rap music about being a comic book nerd and shit. It's like, love it. Yeah, so that'll be Friday, I think sometime during the day. It's not going to be a nighttime thing is what he requested, so I'm not sure exactly the time yet, but just look for that in the early afternoon, I think. Malachi, what do you got? You got
okay, yeah. I mean, besides on my side of things, I have a book coming soon. I'm not committing to a release date yet, but soon for sure. I mean, I'm definitely looking around for artists and stuff. So if anybody in particular is interested in that, you can reach out to me on, I don't know, Twitter at edgierthan, or on my YouTube channel or Discord is CM_law. But looking for artists, but otherwise, that's happening. If you like sci-fi, but don't like pictures, that's it. That's the deal.
Sold. Yeah. I mean, I'm down to check it out whenever.
I'm an excellent salesperson. If you haven't, we'll get an announcement video and everything together so I can give people the pitch and everything. Because I think that if nothing else, I think that people will find the pitch interesting. So, look out.
So is this the thing where like I know you had said that you were like gonna kind of work your book that you already published? Is that?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So years and years ago, around when I was like 16 or so, I basically published a version of this, self-published a version of it. that was basically just like a project between me and my friends, you know, so not anything super crazy, well edited or, you know, whatever. So I ended up completely rewriting the whole thing from the ground up, and then I've spent a lot of time and money on editing and, you know, passing it around and stuff, and basically like waiting for the feedback to start being largely positive, which I mean didn't take super long. I think I had a pretty good idea, but you know, that's just me. But then now at this point, basically we're in the like final stages of editing, reworking a couple of things, retooling stuff. But I mean, we have a full, like we have prints of it and everything.
Nice.
Out that,
hell yeah,
you know, that I'm, you know, pretty proud of. I don't know. One of the big things that I like doing is playing around with different concepts and different like ways of experiencing storytelling. You know, there are a lot of like mechanics, I guess, in this book that I think are like relatively easy to understand, but that are something that you wouldn't have seen before, which is, you know, if nothing else, the goal is something that you haven't experienced before. But yeah, you know, that's
send me a copy.
I will absolutely, as soon as we're like, as soon as I feel like I'm at a point where I'm good to get it out, I will happily send it out to, yeah, pretty much anyone here. And then, you know, of course, for folks watching, like we'll get a pre-order or something up, but yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, that's about all we got for today, I suppose. Is that enough? Are you guys, everybody satisfied? Hopefully so.
We're going to cover more EFAP immediately.
Yeah. We're tomorrow. See, that was just the start. We're watching a 30-minute video tomorrow on stream, and then the next day it's an hour. We're just going to keep doubling it up.
We're going to put aside a whole month for that 2-hour video.
Yeah. Anyways, cool. It's a good time. Too bad. Sorry that Eric wasn't able to join us. Hopefully he gets his internet back and you know, is able to stream post haste.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Ooh,
all right.
Ooh.
You guys kick ass, okay? Oh, I just uploaded a thing into the wrong thing. That's awesome. All right. Peace, everybody. This video is brought to you by
Reproduce. How can I be a white nationalist if I wear Reproduce? Checkmate, groomer.
Hey man, something's got to pay the bills around here. You guys consider supporting me on Patreon so that I don't have to do this type of gig anymore. Reproduce Griftwear, the only clothing line that's DMCA protected. Dress like a goddamn brick.
Reproduce.